Hello, everybody. Come on in. Come on in. What is going on? Oh, we're getting the raid real quick. The raid is coming in very quickly. Hello, hello. Come on in, Raiders. Come on in, Raiders. Come on in. Come on in. I see you, friend. Light eyes. I see you, boo boo. I'm gonna try to say everybody. Sutherland. Hello. Come on in. Come on in. The best lady, epic analyst, come on in. The Mrs. Sweet Tea, Big OG Papa Smurf, I see you. Come on in. Thank you for the bids. Come on in. Brown Eyes, Crash Money Gaming. Yes, come on in. Come on in. Get settled. Welcome to our Men Speak. Welcome to our Men Speak. Come on in. Z Nice VA, I see you. Come on in. Thanks for the bids. DJ Elusive, come on in. Hey, DJ RTX, Gemini Twin. Mish, my beautiful spirit twin, heart of the region. Hello, come on in. Marcia, I see you. I see you. Come on in. Oh, we're level one hype train. Thank you all. DJ Chanel B, yes, let's get it. Let's get it. DJ OE, DJ Prodigy, Miss Riz, it's your girl. Kim, hello, boo boo, come on in. DJ Entertainment, DJ Trends. We are on the top notch raid train. I am the closer, so come on in and get comfortable because we have some things that we're going to discuss tonight. That is very important. So, trying to give everybody a chance to get in here and get comfortable. Lady Nick, hello, sweetheart. My sister, come on in. I see all of you. Yurdy, hello. Christian 11, Diva 929, my boo, come on in. Hello, hello. We're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, thank you. Hello, everyone. How are you? First of all, let's go through that. How are you? Welcome. Welcome to a top-notch raid train sponsored by DJ Entertainment Trends. Thank you so much for the invite. For some reason, I always end up being the only streamer on the raid train. It seems to be that way all the time, but I'm honored and I thank you. I thank you so much for the opportunity. Um, so I chose tonight because of everything that has transpired with us losing another public figure to bring on our men speak. And it's about, of course, our men and mental health. So I want to welcome you to a safe place, Incorporated. I am Beauty for You, and I am CEO of A Safe Place and Team Dopeness. We are one. Um, where we talk about all things mental health and everything in society. Because these days, everything affects us. So we get down deep. Some topics are deep. Sometimes we have decompression. But tonight, we're going to dig a little bit deep into our men and listening to our men speak. I have a panel. Some have experienced, suicide. Some have experienced mental health challenges. We have a licensed therapists, we have counselors, life coaches like myself. So we're going to dig deep tonight on men and mental health. So I'm going to bring up our first, who you all know. Hey, DJ Sunny Day, come on in. Simply moi. I think I got that right this time. Simply moi. We're going to bring DJ Prodigy to the stream. Hello.
Hey, what's up?
I'm gonna have to go ahead and take this off as I bring people on. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Good, good. Hello, Lex Diamonds. Hello. We're gonna bring up who everybody knows, DJ OE.
How we doing, everybody?
Okay, you're under Prodigy, okay?
I'm
Okay.
good for right now.
You're good for right now?
Yes.
Okay. And we're going to bring on Madam Riz. Hello, sweetheart. Hello, my beautiful queen of hearts. How are you?
I'm good. How's everybody?
Good, good. We're going to bring on Deshauna. Hello. Welcome back.
Hi. Thank
Welcome
you.
back. I'm going to let everybody kind of introduce themselves once I get everyone up here. I feel like the introduction should come from you all. And I'm so proud of this human right here that I'm about to bring up. I'm super proud of this human. He did his first mental health stream last night, and I'm super proud. I am his moderator for that stream, so that's an honor. Hey, Dev,
What's up, beauty? How y'all
how are
doing?
you? You back in the bathroom? We back in the
That's what I'm,
bathroom
that's what
again?
I'm gonna do everything at now.
Yeah, in the bathroom, right. And I want you to really explain why you chose the bathroom because I know you and I kind of talked about that, but I want to, you to explain why you use the bathroom to do yours. And we are going to bring up our super guest host, Samuel E. Kisner.
What's going on, everybody?
Hello.
What's up,
Welcome.
fam?
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
How's
How's it
everybody
going?
doing?
This is a
Good.
really dope panel tonight. Like really, really dope. Hopefully, some others will be able to join us tonight a little bit later on. But we're going to go ahead and get started. Hey, Jay Stumpy, I see all of you, all of you. Thank you so much for everything. The hype train, the bits, the subs. I know my moms will take care of you, but I just want to say thank you as well for that hype train. So where we are right now, Prodigy, I would like for you to just kind of introduce yourself and who you are. I know a lot of people know about you, and I know you go through this kind of, you know, consistently. You have explained, you've been open. So just explain a little bit of who you are.
I'm DJ Prodigy out of Baltimore, Maryland. Been on Twitch for over 2 years now. DJ and father to a 11-year-old girl. My dad suffered from depression and committed suicide over 10 years ago. So everything that just happened, especially with Twitch lately, is pretty much similar to what happened to me with my own dad, with what he did. And my daughter has dealt with depression for about the last, I say, year and a half now, and she's in therapy now, but she's doing a lot better.
Awesome. Um, OE.
How you doing, everybody? My name is DJ OE. I'm also from Maryland. Um, I'm a single dad with two 20-year-olds, daughters. Um, I too had family members. I had a father-in-law that took his own life and a sister-in-law that took her own life. And I do suffer from, me personally, I do suffer from anxiety and mental health things too as well. And I've been on Twitch for a little over 2 years right now.
Okay. Let me bring up. Hello, DJ Mad Live. Thank you for joining us. Can you hear me? Okay, it's a delay. Okay. All right, Coach Dev.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. DJ Dodger, welcome. Aryan Souls, welcome. Traffic Man Jen, welcome. Dr. Daddy Priest, welcome. Ms. Frosty, welcome. So Coach Dev, talk to us a little bit about you.
What's up, fam? First, I'm gonna start with why I'm in the bathroom. I'm in the bathroom because the name of my podcast show is called the name of my podcast show. I'm Loquacious Thinkers, but the name of the stream is called I'm in the bathroom. And I stream from my bathroom and kind of have conversation wrapped around mental health and mental illness, starting with myself. I am 40 years old. I was diagnosed with bipolar 2 about 5 or 6 years ago. And I've lived it my entire life, man. And I know what it's like to kind of lose your mind. I tell God all the time, like, you don't got to do anything else. I just thank God for having my mind back, man. So I use my podcast and my platform with a couple of my guys that I got some different cultural background. I'm a pastor on there as well, with like a hip hop pastor, where he kind of gives a unique perspective on dealing with mental health and things like that, from what he deals with as a pastor. So, my battle thing, one of the things, we weren't going to release the podcast until January, and the late January, but with DJ Twitch killing himself, man, it kind of sparked something in me to just go ahead and start the conversation now. I am like the perfect example of somebody that my friends and family wouldn't have thought that I would have committed suicide if I would have followed through with it years ago. And the only way that was interrupted while making the promise to a random my aunt, who called me at a random time, man, and didn't know what was going on, but heard it in my voice and just made me promise, because she had recently dealt with lost to suicide, a close friend of hers, and somehow my brain tricked me into believing that it wasn't worth being here anymore. I would be more of an asset in the ground to my kids than I was alive, because I felt like I just couldn't get it right, not knowing that I had a medical issue. You know what I'm saying? So I use my platform. We bring attention to the youth. I have my podcast is called The Loquacious Thinkers. Like I said, I have 3 other hosts. I have a youth podcast coming out called The Loquacious Thinkers. The youth version of it, the youth perspective, and it's my son and some of the kids that I mentor will be hosting this show and talking about some things from their perspective. So my goal is kind of give a real kick to the stigma of mental health, especially amongst men and kids, especially Black men and young kids. My passion for kids is that I mentor, I coach youth football as well, and I do PRP program here in Baltimore called Psychiatric Rehabilitation Program for Youth. So I hate my passion though. You know what I mean? Because my passion doesn't come from a place of love. My passion comes from a place of understanding and empathy and compassion, because I realize that these are kids out here still going through what I was kid. And as a 35-year-old man, for me to get into a space where I wanted to commit suicide, it was a fear, it was a coldness, it was a darkness, it was confusion. It was just a bunch of emotions as a man. So when I see these kids being successful and committing suicide as young as elementary school, man, like if I was scared as a fucking 35-year-old man, like what are these kids feeling to be successful and to follow through with that? And it's a scary place to be when you really take a hard look at it, man, because what I see in my profession, these kids, the same struggles I had, man. My dad wasn't around, single mom was always at work, and you know what I mean? Like you're dealing with your own emotions. I was molested, you know what I'm saying? So you got so many different things going on, man, that people say you soft or you weak or you selfish when you get into a suicidal space, but you're not, man. Like, you just tired of burning. You just tired of your brain torturing you. You know what I mean? That, although I'm through it and I know how to cope with it, that's a pain that I never forget. And I hope to God that I never do forget it, because that's my fuel to help, man, because that's a scary place, dog. Like, I'm a husband and a father of 6, bro. Society tells you you're supposed to have it together. And if you're not leaving your house financially, you're not a man, or you're not supposed to be, you're not supposed to be held in the same regard as a man that brings in money, not realizing we all don't have the same obstacles. Bro. So that's my thing, man, is to bring attention and awareness to the, like although we don't say it, man, like men suffering, like, and kids are suffering, and there's a reason behind it. And like I said last night on my podcast, like we got to get back to love, because the definition that we have love today, man, it's not the correct definition. Love is patient, love is kind, man. It don't judge. You know what I'm saying? It teaches. It doesn't say anything about getting a bag. It doesn't say anything about what you bring to the table. It doesn't say about anything about what you look like. It doesn't say anything about if my friend is on my level, I gotta leave him in last year, man. It's just like we live in a society that's beating us down, and nobody's talking about it in the way that it needs to be talked about it. So my thing is, man, as you will see me go back and forth, and it's probably a part of my bipolar as far as the crying and things, but it's a real thing that I feel, right? And it's a part of my passion, and I'm fine, you know what I mean? But this time of the year with the holidays and being financially tight and trying to figure out my wife and I the situation that we just tired of being in, it really puts you to have your faith in God. You know what I mean? So it takes to my next point, where it's like, is God enough when you're dealing with something like depression Is your faith enough when you're dealing with something like anxiety and the fears from your trauma that's naturally reacting from your fight or flight? Like, no, it's not, man, because God don't work in that space. The devil does. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's a space where you kind of get into a space where you're looking for anything that's looking for you, man, and anything that accepts you. And that I was strong enough to make it through, but there's so many of my friends, man, that committed suicide from the pressure, that was legit giving effort. I know so many guys that are struggling, you know, that are getting beat down by their women and their baby moms because their perspective of a father, their perception of a dad isn't what it look like to them. You know, it's not there what the dad is actually able to do. So I can rant on this all night. You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna keep going. I just wanted you to get that part out
Yeah, I
because
got you.
we just getting started.
You
So if
already
you
know.
needed to, yes, I already know. So I know it's gonna come more from a pure place as it always does. But I
Yeah.
didn't want to stop you
No,
because
go
in the
ahead. We gotta
moment
keep it rolling.
I wanted you to go ahead and get that out.
Yeah. Keep
So
it
we're
rolling.
gonna move on to Deshauna, which is my beautiful friend. She's been on the platform as well. So I'm gonna let you say a little bit about you, who you are, what you've gone through, and what you're currently um, dealing with.
Okay. Hi. I'm so glad to be back here in this space. My name is Deshauna Jeffries, but I go by Deshauna Breeze. And that is because, I'm finally breathing. I'm finally getting stuff off of my chest. And that's what a lot of people need to do. Um, I am the CEO and owner of A Passport to Breathe. Again, breathe. Um, and I started that community because I was not the face of, what people thought depression should be. Um, my parents next year will be married 50 years. I grew up in a nice houses. Um, I am successful. I'm 45, single, no kids. I'm super successful. This is my second house. And not to say that bragging, but 4 years ago, I was diagnosed with clinical depression, anxiety, and PTSD. And when people started, finding out about that, they're like, How? Your life should be happy, and
Mhm.
Switch's death triggered that a lot because, so many people were talking about, oh, he was so happy. He was so strong. He made everybody happy. And I hear that so many times, from my own friends. I'm the happy one. And so it really touched me. And I just know that we need a place. We need to um, get out that there's not a particular face that depression belongs to. And um, that is my goal. That's my goal in life. What I'm working on now is I have an online academy where it teaches about depression, anxiety, how to deal with your kids. My
Mhm.
nieces are showing signs of it, and I'm already starting to work with them because I just don't want them to grow up the way I did. I tried to unalive 4 years ago, and that's when I started therapy. I woke up the next day and I was like, I'm still here. Now, what is my why? So that
Mhm.
is actually how I started A Passport to Breathe. Um, and on January 1st, I'm actually dropping an app in Google Play and Apple Store, a venting space. A venting space for, all of those that are feel alone, feel the heaviness, have been invalidated, feel unheard, because these are all things that I felt. And I'm just super excited. I got approved for Google Play today. So, the Lord is just, moving me in the right direction and tell me what my steps are,
Yes.
and I just have to do that and keep going. Thank
Yes,
you.
I am so proud of you.
Oh,
We're going to hello, Miss Martiu. Hello, Sora. How are you? Come on in. MC2J man. I see all of you, my peace girl, DJ Neat, DJ Molly Party, Jennifer, Mama, come on in. I see all of you. Welcome, welcome. Charmaine the villain. Welcome. The Mrs. Sweet Tea. I am so proud of you, Deshauna. Just tell them about your book. Your book.
we're gonna know so many things. So the last year I actually wrote two books. One and the way they came about was because when I was going through um, the unalive attempt, I could not find affirmations that resonated with me as a Black woman. Um, so I started writing my own and putting them around the whole house. And I created that into a book. And it is 365 intentional breaths. Then, after I wrote that one, I looked at my Black men and I was like, there's nothing out there really for them, that is written by a Black woman with love. So I created 365 I'm sorry, 365 love notes to the world's Black kings. And both books have done, great. They're on Amazon, Books a Million, anywhere you can find it, Target. But that's how those came about. Just me putting love back in, to the world, like Coach Dev was saying, just putting that back in there.
Awesome. Awesome. Again, I'm so proud of you because I've watched you, um, and I'm very proud of you. We're on the same fight. All of us are. Um, we've all been in some type of space mentally, and we're just trying to do the greater good to help others. Herb's mom and Wise Pair, both of you all in here. Oh my goodness, it's about to be um, covered. This chat is about to be covered. When you have Herb's mom and Wise Pair come in, your chat is about to be covered. Hello, Mad Life Queen. I see you. Come on in. Come on in. We're gonna move over to the lovely, my beautiful Queen of Heart, Miss Riz, Madam Riz.
Hello, everybody. You hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I am Ms. Riz, also known as Madam Riz. Government name is Renee. I am a life coach. My business is V2F, Coaching and Development, which is Vision to Fruition Coaching and Development. Um, I as a coach, I encounter lots of people who really they need to be in therapy. Bottom line, like I'm not a therapist, and the weight that they carry from being depressed and having anxiety is so overwhelming that it impacts their ability to move forward in a lot of different areas. So, as a coach, my goal is to help people achieve the goals that they want to achieve. It's not to tell them what to do, but so many people are stuck because of trauma. Um, and not having a place to go where they can just kind of release and get those things out. I personally suffer from seasonal effectiveness disorder. And for those who don't know what that is, it has to do with the season. Like when it starts to get dark early and things like that, it can impact my mental state, taking me into depressive states if I'm not mindful. But because I've been dealing with this for 30 plus years, via diagnosis, I know how to manage myself, and I know how to, kind of navigate around that. I also was diagnosed that 30 plus years ago with depression and anxiety and was told that I would be on medication for the rest of my life. And I said, the hell I will, right? And I am not. But I did have to take medication for a little while, so I can balance and function. Because I work with people and I work with people, help them to do things for their own lives. And I was just all jacked up myself. So being here is really important to me because I think that there are so many, like Deshauna had said, Like, people don't look like what they're going through. There's always this, well, you don't look depressed. You don't look like you have anxiety. You look like you have it all together. Yeah, we look because we've learned how to wear a mask so
Yes.
well. And we don't like to own that, but some of us have learned how to function, just like a functioning alcoholic and a functioning drug addict.
Absolutely.
People
Yeah.
function every day with depression and anxiety. And so it's important for us to have these conversations, especially for our men, our Black men in particular, because they carry a different level of weight. I have a 37-year-old son. I had a whole conversation with him before the stream, kind of ask him some questions around growing up in a single household and the weight that he carries. I'm feeling like he has to take care of his mom and his sisters and what that does, So there's a lot of different things that we look at depression, anxiety, and bipolar and all these different things. And there's so many nuances that we do not discuss. And the one thing I will say before I quiet down is that, we have this saying, check on your strong friends. We say that all the time, but I will say, if I don't say anything else, is that when you're checking, make sure you have the capacity to be there for that person. Don't check and then check out.
Yes.
Because then you do more damage. So like I said, if I say nothing else, if you're going to check and make sure that you have the capacity to carry some of that weight or to provide whatever that person needs, even if it's just a listening ear, because you can do more damage by checking in and checking out than if you didn't check in at all.
Absolutely. Thank you. Hello, only one Mrs. Cox, my sister. Hello, hello. Who else did I see come in here? I see my mother, but I'm gonna address her in a second. Christian 11. Want to make sure I didn't miss any. Hey, Van Stel. Hello, fam. Welcome, welcome. Hello, mother. Hello, mother. Today is my father's birthday, so I know he's listening in with my mother. So happy birthday, Daddy. I left from over there earlier, taking him his gift. So happy birthday again, Daddy. Hello, David C. Dennis. You stayed up. Oh, salute, fam. Thank you so much. I know you're 5-6 hours ahead of us, so I know it's late, but thank you so much for being here. So we're going to move over to DJ Man Live. Fam, you know where we come from a place of. And I want to say first, before you introduce who you are,
Hello,
is
hello.
that I'm proud of you. I don't know if we have a delay, but I'm very proud of you. But if you would just give us just a brief overview of who you are.
I'm not sure if we have a delay. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we have a delay. We do, but we can hear you.
Okay. Okay, cool. Well, with the delay, I'm gonna just say that my name is DJ Matt Live, and my government name is Jewel Allen, and I just come here before you guys as a witness that you can conquer anything. You can't conquer it by yourself. You have to be surrounded around the right people, and you have to have a strong faith. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now we're going to get on to our very, very special guest. Um, I know him as Samuel. He is brother to Kim, which is It's Your Girl Kim's show. That is her, she says, baby brother. So if you would introduce who you are, your background a little bit, and then we'll just continue going. These introductions are very, very important. So everyone could get an overview of who everyone is. And then, we'll get into the meat of it.
Well, thank you so much. First of all, I want to thank you, the host, Beauty. I want to also thank my fellow panelists. This is a tremendous opportunity for me. I've been extremely extremely excited to be here. Once Kim told me about this this opportunity, I couldn't wait to get in this space with you guys. My name is Samuel Kisner. I'm an LPC. I actually have my own practice, private practice, Callous Minds Counseling. And I'm a counselor for Rise Counseling Group. It's an agency out of Dayton, Ohio. So I do some work with them as well as my own private practice. I also have a podcast. I just kind of got in the podcast space. I'm super excited about it. It's called The Collective. And like you all are familiar with the situation with DJ Twitch, I actually hopped on a couple days ago and put up a post just talking about what's been going on. And I see it a lot, especially with the young Black males and our Black boys. And I got into this space because I really wanted to work with minority Black and brown men, especially with mental health. There's not a lot of us at all. As a therapist, as the Blauman's will say it out there, I'm a unicorn. There are not many of us. And it's unfortunate. However, I don't have to be like the last one. I want to advocate, and like you all said, get the word out. There could be more of us who look like us in this space. And so I really want to get out here and start talking to my brothers, man, because it's time, it's time. There's just, we things are going on and we don't address it, and we don't address it in the proper way. And so like you all said, having these conversations and then putting together some action steps that you all and our men and my brothers can actually apply to their life and use like right now. That's what I want to do, provide them with some tools to add to their toolbox, because suicide is not an option. It only seems like it, right? And so, like you said, we'll get into it as we go on, but that's a little bit about me. Again, I have a podcast called The Collective. Please tune in. It's on Spotify. My sister does my Instagram. She's hooking it up, so we'll get it out. But yeah, if you look it up on Spotify, you can check me out. I'm also on Instagram. And again, I just want to get the word out. I want to be a place where there's a space for brothers to come and, get it off the chest. And that's what we do. So I'm looking forward to this conversation tonight. And thank you all so very much. And before I'm done talking, I wanted to thank the panelists for being so courageous with sharing your stories. That's humongous, and I think the world of you guys. And again, thank you all for letting me be here as well.
Absolutely. I am so, you don't know how it makes me feel to see that you and Devin are, just two of the vessels for our Black men. I felt like I was struggling alone when I first started the Men in Mental Health series. I didn't really see anybody like zoning in on it. It's like, can you see them? Do you see them? And I had 7 panels, and they all just like, we didn't have a time limit because I don't want to put a time limit on men and what they may have to say, what they have witnessed, what they may have on their heart. So it was just like, okay, but to see that it's like, okay, I'm seeing it come to life now to where men can go and just dump and get what they need, because a lot of times they don't want to do it in front of us. This stream has been blessed to where we have had that, to where they have come and they have like literally said, okay, they're in a safe space, so they feel comfortable talking about it. But amongst each other is like that camaraderie, and it's just like, okay, I got you. And like Miss Riz say, if you say I have you, please don't do the in and out. Make sure you hold on to them and you like check on them. And if you have to create some type of code for emergency, crisis or whatever, do so. So I commend you, and I commend Devin. I commend Prodigy and OE, because I know their stories hands down. But just them not getting tired of trying to share their stories, trying to help save others. So I commend you two as well, because when you literally hear them, I know both of theirs like the back of my hand, but they never get tired of sharing, no matter how many people ask them to be on their show, because they're trying to save someone. And sometimes people who are on may not get it the first 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, but it may be something that they say on that 8th time of repeating their stories that it's like, okay, now I'm ready. So, I commend it. And Miss Riz has always like been right there, like, okay, we need to teach, We need to coach. We need to educate. We need to empower. So I appreciate you. And DJ Man Live, like I told you, from the beginning of us working together, that's been, a bond as well. So I do appreciate you. But I have a few videos. We're going to kind of jump around because I want to get your thoughts about it, and then we kind of talk about it.
We first saw his talent on So You Think You Can Dance and his daytime moves on Ellen DeGeneres, but tonight, the shocking news that Stephen Twitch Boss took his own life. This is Entertainment Tonight.
Hearing this news was a gut punch to all of us who knew him. Twitch was a devoted husband, a loving father, and a beautiful soul who always shared his light with E.T.
We're still making sure that kindness and love is still spread.
I love that it's a Boss family outing tonight.
Yes, it is, absolutely. We love the Full House, and also just like family, man. Like, honestly, they're my favorite people. You know what I mean?
E.T. confirmed the sad news. The 40-year-old dancer and DJ committed suicide at this Encino motel less than a mile from his home. Ruth Cardenas, who was staying there, says a housekeeper knocked on Twitch's door yesterday morning.
Around 11:15, they went and checked, knocked on the door. She didn't really see him, but she noticed a body, and that's it. And then she came out. She was freaked out.
He was pronounced dead at 11:25 a.m., reportedly from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. This morning, Ellen posted this pic with him backstage and called him pure love and light. Twitch's joyous public persona makes his suicide all the more shocking. Just 3 days ago, he posted this video dancing with wife Allison, the day before they celebrated their 9th wedding anniversary, and last month premiered their last project together, the hip-hop Nutcracker on Disney+. A source tells E.T. Allison is beside herself. It feels like she is living a nightmare. In a statement, she said, "He was the backbone of our family, the best husband and father." Just last year, I visited them at their new home in Encino. You guys are relatively in a new house, which is gorgeous.
We actually just painted Maddox's room.
Their son Maddox is 6, daughter Zaya is 3, and their oldest daughter Wesley is 14. Allison and Twitch told us they were considering having more kids.
We'll see. It can go either. It depends on the day,
Twitch started DJing on Ellen in 2014. In 2020, after DeGeneres faced allegations of a toxic workplace, he was named an executive producer.
There's a lot going on in the world right now and a lot of things that need to be addressed. She's up in a high place and people love to take cracks when they got time.
Filming the last episode of Ellen, it was really the end of an era.
I'm still in a lot of shock.
This morning, we spoke to Twitch's friend Jody Sweeten at the RAP's Power Women Summit.
Have you reached out to Allison at all?
I have. I just texted her. I just want her to know she's left. He's such a talent and such an amazing, warm, wonderful heart, and yeah, he will be greatly missed.
Okay. So we watched that, and the first thing that was sent to me was how? Beauty, how? I don't understand how. Look at him. He looks so happy. He danced 2 days before he did this. He posted before he did this. He celebrated his 9th wedding anniversary a couple days before he did this. How? I'm not understanding. I am totally lost. So we'll start with Miss Rez. What are your thoughts?
Wow. When you are, and I'm speaking from firsthand experience, when you are it only takes a minute. It doesn't take a lot of time for things to click off, for everything that you're feeling to hit you and you to feel like you have no way out. It doesn't take a long time. People tend to think that it's months and years. Sometimes it is that much that you're carrying, but in that moment, in those moments when you're in despair and you feel like I got nothing left, you don't necessarily always think about logic. you're not necessarily thinking about, from my own personal experience when many years ago, but when I was at that place where I was like, I'm done. I can't take anymore. I didn't think about it initially about my kids and all these other things. I didn't think about the impact to other people. All I knew was what I was feeling in that moment and in those moments, and how I could not figure out how to, I didn't know where the relief or the release was. Um, and so sometimes you're just a moment away from that. And people don't realize that sometimes you're just a moment away, and then next thing you know, you're done. And there's nothing you can't reverse that.
Right.
For me, it was always my kids. If I had a minute, I was able to remember my children. And the thought of someone else raising my children was always my kids are grown now. But that was my thing. But everybody doesn't have that second to snap them out of it.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, anybody else want to comment on it? Go ahead, Dan. You're muted. Muted. There we go.
I said, stop me. Throw your hands up like this, dude. Stop. Right. But no, man, it's when I see that and when I read that story over and over again, man, like DJ Twitch was 40 years old. I just turned 40 in September. DJ Twitch just celebrated his ninth year wedding anniversary. My wife and I just celebrated our 9th year wedding anniversary in November, right? So there's a lot of similarities that I see there. And I think the question is often that pops up in most people's mind is like, bro, this dude was just dancing and smiling 3 days ago. Like, how did it go from that to there? You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you, like, a fresh mind is unique in thought, right? The things that we're sensitive to aren't what society is sensitive to. And for me, man, personally speaking from my own experience, like my entire life it's been like a curse, right? Especially like coming from Baltimore and then going to Montgomery County for a better lifestyle and having to constantly readjust to the cultural background of these places. Man, I think I read somewhere DJ Twitch expressed that he'd been through a lot and he was tired. And I can see that, right? Because like Ms. Riz said, it don't always take a long time, right? But I've been fighting my depression, let alone since I was 9, since the year after I got molested, right? So you put that in a position where you put that in a space where I say my life is cursed because I was my youngest son remind me of myself, and I'll do anything to protect that spirit in him because he's green, he's cute. And that was taken away from me when I got molested, right? I was always that kid wanting to help my neighbors take their groceries in the house, and somebody used that to take advantage of me, right? My gay neighbor. So, that molestation, like, it didn't really hit me for like a year and a half, 2 years later, right? So when it hit me, I was kind of like, what the fuck did my man see in me? So I battled that, right? I battled everything that comes with that, all the thoughts, I battled all the feelings, all the insecurities, all the now and then up until that point, I never really questioned. Like, I was cool seeing my dad every other weekend and talking to him every 3 months and things like that until it hit me one day. I was like, damn, like my dad wasn't here to protect me from that. My dad wasn't here for me to say anything to. And as I got older, I started having like mental checks and where I missed my dad and where I needed him and where I wished he was there and how I wish I could talk to him. The conversation my mom had with him that I overheard where she was begging for help and he was just like, what you want, pretty much what you want me to do. So as a son, man, that crushed me and that carried with me all the way through, especially to watch my mom struggle the way she did. You know what I'm saying? So as I got older, I had all kinds of questions. So as I became a teenager, I had all kinds of insecurities. Nobody would have known it, right? I would laugh, I'd be joking all day. I'm a jokester, right? But then as time goes on, life don't get so funny, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can only hide so much of what you feel. And when you cry and stuff like that, like my mom would tell you, bro, I never cried. Like, I didn't cry getting my ass whipped. You know what I mean? Like, never. And that's why I'm okay crying now, because for over 20 something years, almost 30 years of holding that stuff in, man, like, don't nobody want to wake up to your nightmare again over and over. You don't have to go to sleep for your nightmare. Now you're facing it, right? Because people see you in the max of your effort, right? But when you crash, nobody asks questions. And I was trying to take care of 2 kids at the time that in my family, I had a kid at 19, a kid at 21, 22, And I struggled. I had a decent career in pharmacy as a pharmacy technician and making IVs and things like that, but it just wasn't enough, bro. And then my worst fear became my reality. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was involved with somebody that told me constantly over and over again that I was just like my dad, and I was trying everything I was trying to do to take care of my kids. When I was trying to grind and do 2 jobs and go to school, I was told, like, I hope you die and all that other shit from somebody that I fell in love with. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's in the space where, like, damn, I wanted my family because I wanted to love something the way I wanted to be loved, and now I can't. Now I'm realizing at a young age, like, bro, like, this woman don't really love me no matter how much I love her. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's in the space where that get you turn into the fact where you're like, damn, like, I failed my daughter there. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to give her something that I wanted, and I failed it. And even at 19, I'm in a space where I'm just like, oh, it's something I want to give. Right. So then you fast forward to my next child, and up until that point, I was fine. I wasn't down child support. And as soon as we born, one told me, they was like, hey, like, I got to worry about my daughter now. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the fact that I went out here and planned to make another baby. I was young, and things happen within that space. But so often we get convicted for our mistakes that we make as men, and not realizing that each thing that I went through that I mentioned was a level of trauma that I constantly buried until I couldn't, that I used to fuel me until I couldn't go anymore, working 2 jobs, going to school, having time for your kids in the weekend that you're not doing that stuff. Man, I was physically exhausted. And then when I couldn't make it, I was chastised, and I was made fun of, and I was made known what I wasn't doing at the birthday parties. And when I got into a financial situation, like, you would hear the overtones, you hear the conversations of people talking, the people that once cared about you and things like that, man. It breaks you down. And of course, you can't show that as a man, bro. You got to kind of walk through that, because ultimately my thing was, I don't want to miss my kid's birthday party. So that plays, it put me in a space where I was going to go through anything to feel that. But, like, when I got sick, it was in the midst of my oldest kids when they needed me. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't functional. And I hated myself for that. I couldn't.
Let me interject. I'm gonna give me 1 second. OE, we haven't really heard too much. What are your thoughts in your experience?
Well, the weird thing is, for Twitch, going back to Twitch, the first thing I like to say, check on your happy friends. Your happy friends are the ones that you least expected you turn to for some kind of solace or whatever. Or if you're feeling down, you turn to your happy friends, but your happy friend is going through something. With Twitch, I was watching his live that same week because he was celebrating his grandfather's birthday. And I was watching his live that same week, and I was just like, wow, I remember him back before he even got on So You Think You Could Dance. I was following his dancing career because I used to be a big Jabberwocky fan. And so I knew, and I was like, but he came from and where he's at now. I was still thinking that he was doing good. But his death did bring back my memories with my my father-in-law. My ex-father-in-law, I should say, only because I'm not married no more to her. But my father-in-law, a week after we got married, we got close and we was doing our things. But he was one of those, I'm a man. You can't show weakness. He was raised that same way. You can't show weakness. That's the way I was brought up as well. Suck it up, be a man, walk it off type of thing. He was one of those, he used to being the provider. He was, he was a home improvement guy too, but he got hurt and he couldn't provide for his family. So that part made him feel less of a man, but he was still happy. He was still making jokes. He was always the life of the party. And when I came back from my honeymoon, which was weird because we would talk on the phone, but that's after he called his daughter. But this time he specifically called for me. And when he called, we talked for hours. The most we talked was 20 minutes, but we talked for hours. I never picked up on the sign, but we did all the things. And the next day is when they found themselves hung in his closet. And to me, that was his way of saying, goodbye. But again, I'm not picking up on any signs because I was illiterate to all of this. The next thing was his daughter, his oldest daughter, which is my wife's sister. She came, she was going through it. I didn't know she was going through domestic violence with her new husband. But she was good. She was good, whatever. And we would talk, and she was gonna work it out with him. And then out of the blue, she came down to Maryland to visit. Came back home 2 days later. She OD'd on drugs on purpose, and took her life because she felt she couldn't get out no way. So when I hear about something like that now, it's depressing because I suffer from that. I suffer from anxiety. I didn't know what anxiety was. I didn't know what depression was until, and this is the only reason that I'm friends with Prodigy, is because 2 years ago when he did his 24-hour mental health stream, and that educated me on a lot of stuff. Hearing and then seeing what other people on Twitch was going through, I thought I was alone. I really did. And that stream was an eye-opener for me, and how everybody was talking freely about it. Once that stream was over, I actually analyzed my whole life, and I realized my whole life I do suffer from anxiety and depression. And the main reason why I say check on your happy friends is because I'm going through it now. You know, and when I go on Twitch, I'm happy and joking, but Prodigy knows, Beauty for You knows. You guys check up on me. Me, Prodigy, DCD, we have a little group that we have, and we just convert, and it's like a fellowship. And I do take solace in that. And then I have, like, Joy Lex would check up on me, you know, time to time. But I'm not on that part of I want to take my life, but I'm not okay. And one of the main reasons why, which I came an open book on Twitch, was I do home improvements for a living. And of course, you know, I had a lot of customers or whatever that gives me deposits. Somebody hacked my bank account and took all their money and my money. The bank, which I'm gonna blow them up, is Truist. They merged from, I had SunTrust and I had BB&T, and they merged last year. And what I learned was this been happening to a lot of business owners, and the bank is taking no responsibility for it. You could call the FDIC. A lady just went after she got, not last year, last year October. She finally had a court date a few months ago, because she was one of the first ones, and she won, but they only gave a partial of it. My court date is not until March, but in between time, and this happened back in June, and I got clients coming after me on the daily, asking, "Where's my money? Where's my money?" You know, I'm stressing about because I can't book this big job like I was getting, the $250,000 jobs, the $1 million jobs, because I can't get a bank account because since they hacked my account is in a negative. So when you go to another bank and try to get it, they deny you because you have an outstanding balance. So I cannot go to a client and ask them to give me $30,000, $40,000 in cash. So now for me, I'm doing these little bitty jobs. I had a 12-man crew. My company was featured on HGTV. So I'm not no Mickey Mouse. I've been doing this for over 35 years. And I'm sorry, just let me know if I'm talking too much. But it's like, so for me, I'm doing these little jobs where I used to say I don't get out of bed for $500, less than $500 a day. Now I'm getting out of bed if I could do a $100 job here, because I still got to feed my young one. Even though she's 20, but she's going to college, I still got to pay her college. I still got to feed her. I got car payments and all that stuff. So at one point, it came to a head where everything was due. My car was up for repossession. My insurance lapsed, and I still came on Twitch. And this was like 2 weeks ago, December 9th. And Prodigy, DCD, we all, like I said, in the morning, Diamond Lee, they all give me courage, vote of courage. You call me and text me, but for the past 2 weeks, I just been acting like I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say check on your happy friends, because right now I'm trying to get money up for my granddaughter's Christmas, and doing these little jobs. By the time, and then I get people threatening to sue me, which I have legal documents. So even though they try to sue me, it's not going to happen because I have legal documentation that I keep sending them. But I understand that you gave somebody $20,000, $10,000, and your house still ain't done. So I can see it. So for me, that's what I'm going through now. But again, I'm not at that point where, because I have, and like DJ Mad Live said, and I've been saying your name wrong, brother. I've been calling you Mad Live, but Mad Live, like he said, surround yourself among friends who genuinely cares and check in on you.
Absolutely.
But that's my story.
So, Samuel, I did get a message, and I truly understand. So I want to go ahead and jump to you because I see you writing. So I know you're about to drop some nuggets for us. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you the floor.
I appreciate it. So I like to just drop some numbers. The Journal of American Medical Association, also known as JAMA, suicide anxiety has risen sharply, as we all know, since the pandemic. But in Black males, this is the scary number. It's the highest increase in suicide attempts than any other race at 80%. And so to my DJs, I love music. You guys know Yo Gotti, that one song, what? Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. These numbers aren't lying, and this is it's a more than serious thing. And so again, I just want to thank you all for being here and sharing what you're going through. But a couple points I want to make before I do have to leave, unfortunately. Just listen to how some of you guys are sharing your stories. And I'm not trying to counsel or anything, but just giving some point of view. There's some things that I share with my clients who are dealing with suicidal ideation, suicidal thoughts, just having those negative low points and things going on. We have to focus on, there's two areas, internal versus external, right? Internal, I mean inside of you, inside of us, inside of our thoughts, our minds, our hearts, our bodies. External is everything else, outside, so even DJ OE, your situation with the money thing, that's external. That was out of your control, right? It only seemed like it was in your control, but listen, they hacked into your system. You don't control that. Now, what happens is we put all of our energies into the situation that's out of control that we never had control over in the first place. What I suggest to clients is let's redirect that energy internally, because your locus of control, your power, your strength, your confidence, your courage, your fortitude, your resilience is inside of us, right? And I just like to share with all of my clients, everybody listening, everybody alive, everybody on this podcast or on this stream, everybody walking and living this planet, we all have these things built in us internally already. It's just that we've been through trauma, we've been through hurt, we've been through all types of different experiences that distract us, that keep us away from the internal gifts, the internal power that we have that exists. Look, we get damaged, and listen, we don't access those things that I mentioned before. The self-confidence, the self-worth, the patience, the grace. We get so traumatized and damaged. It only seems like the only option is to get out of here, and that's not it. It only seems like it. So letting clients know, hey, our power lies within, internally. And so connecting with resources like this, like DJ always said, Coach Dev, Miss Riz, surrounding yourselves around people like this, creating communities, a collection of shared experiences. We all go through a lot of SHIT in our lives. That's a part of it. All right. That's just how it is. If you keep living long enough, if you haven't been, get ready. It's coming. Right. And so I'm not saying that to scare people, but just we can do things to prepare ourselves internally to deal with some of those issues that happen externally that we don't control. So really just getting clients to understand and getting everyone to understand where your true power is, where your true control is. It's not outside of ourselves. We don't control people. We don't control situations. We don't control our kids. We don't control any of that stuff. We have influence and we impact. Those are two different things in control. And so a lot of times we psych ourselves out thinking we control this. And then when things kind of go chaotic and it's out of control, we then blame ourselves. And then, hey, we go internal, we spiral, depending on whatever else is going on. I mean, it can really put us down in a really, really low place where we think, hey, I can't even be here anymore. And that is not the case. Every single body, every single person who is alive and hearing me now, and even not, our existence is important, right? We all have purpose. And I'm going to share this with you. You may not know exactly specifically what your purpose, but here's the thing. Your purpose in life is to figure out your purpose. So we have one, right? It's just about connecting it. But like you said, doing some other things, connecting with resources, but really going internal and giving yourself the control and giving yourself the power and not the external, not giving it outside of yourself, because it all starts within. So couple things, and I'll let you guys kind of have it. Some things to look for. I know we said, hey, how do I know it? I don't know what's going on. I don't see it. I don't see any signs. We may not. So a few things that we can look for. Habits and routines. That's a good one. Look at people's routines. Are there any changes? Big changes, small changes. Watch those routines. Like DJ always said, check on your happy friends too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't always a person who's down and out who wants to do that to themselves. So we got to pay attention to routines. Hey, hygiene. If a person is usually normally fresh and looking sharp, and now they're looking kind of bummy or different, that's another sign there may be something else going on. Mood shifts. That's a big one. But hey, sometimes you don't see that, but just paying attention and just gauging just to see if there is a difference. And hey, maybe you can check in, or maybe not. This is not a time to check in. Sleeping more. That's a big one. If you're sleeping a lot, if you're not sleeping, those things also are something to look for. Agitation. You know, if a person is, again, kind of mood shift, if a person is normally calm and collected, now they're easily agitated, snapping, you know, that's another thing to look for. Decrease in activity. You know, if they're active and then they suddenly change, something you may want to look for. It may not say it all, but hey, it may be a sign. Hey, let me check in. And low mood. That's a big one. You know, I hear a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression. I see that a lot. Check in. And here's the other thing. Don't just ask if you're okay. And again, Ms. Riz, you said if you have the capacity, the training to do it. Exactly. I'm not telling anybody to be anybody's therapist. Leave it to the professionals, please. However, you can ask the tough questions that can lead them to, hey, going to seek some help. So don't be afraid. That's a lot of times. I know it can be kind of scary, but hey, listen, is it more scary if they're past and not here, or ask the question that you need to ask? So I want to keep people alive. So you got to ask those tough questions. Don't just scratch the surface. Go a little bit deeper, but you don't have to counsel them. You know, just let them know that we're there. There's options. You have support. And I think we've all been saying you are not alone, right? We're all out here. And I love this movement. You know, I definitely want to connect with everybody on here in some form or fashion, especially my brothers, man. I just want to keep this going, get it bigger and bigger, and do some more things, because we got to continue these conversations. And again, not just talking, but also providing some ways to apply some change. And that's what I'm here for, because I'm a professional. This is what I do. You know, so, you know, if we can connect, I definitely want to do it a little bit more in depth. I know this is kind of short, but just giving some nuggets and some tips and some things that we can think about moving forward. But listen, it's inside, man. Externally, we don't control, but internally, we have control. You have the power. You do not have to do that. You have options. And I'm going to leave some numbers. The crisis hotline, 1-800-273-TALK, 8255. That's 1-800-273-TALK. That's the crisis suicide prevention hotline, lifeline. If you need it, call it. There's another number, 988, even shorter. Hey, if it's in the moment, just dial it. Give yourself a chance, because no one else will. You know, that's all I want to say. There's a whole lot of other resources. Again, Beauty, if you guys reach out, if you need something from me, I'm here. Like I said, I'm out here in the podcasting space. I would love to do shows and be guests and have you guys on my show. But let's continue this. You know,
Absolutely.
You know,
Sam, I mean, I know this is, you know, you had previous, and I appreciate that. But yes, you will be back for a part 2, because we need to continue this movement. I remember when I said series 7 was going to be the last series for men and mental health, and I got so many messages like, no, this is just beginning. We need to, our men matter, our kings matter. So, it's become a passion of mine. And so we're going to keep this movement going. And I appreciate you for, saying yes, and just the nuggets that you have dropped just while you're here.
Hey, it is my pleasure, and I'm going to leave you all with this, and then I'll sign off. But please, and whatever you want to have me on, I'm here. It's not a thing, not a problem. I will be here gladly to help out as much as I can. So this is something I shared with a client and who reached out dealing with a very similar serious situation. Try to focus, and this is for any and everybody. Try to focus on grounding your emotions in the moment. Use your breath to calm your mind and your thoughts in the very moment right now. Your control is 100% within yourself. Please be aware that it only seems like the external situations have control over us. Take your control into your hands, be patient with yourself, and give yourself as much grace as needed. So again, thank you so much for allowing me to be here, guys. I'm sorry I got to leave a little early.
That's okay.
I'll connect with you guys again very soon, like sooner than later. Thank you all so much. You all have a great rest of the evening.
All right. Thank you. Well, that I hope that just the few nuggets that Samuel has graced us with has helped. He definitely will be back so we can continue this movement. But I want to get to Prodigy. And after we watch this video, because this kind of pertains to some of the things that I understand that he went through with his father. So
you were hurt by someone you trusted?
Yeah.
Like the family member who abused you?
Yeah.
Which made you feel powerless again? It's cool. You release this.
Wow, when I saw that scene from Atlanta, I knew I had to talk about it on this week's Cross Connection because it's really not something we see on TV every day, and that's Black men in therapy. And of course, you may remember Kendrick Lamar's album, which dropped this summer, that also explores this very timely topic. Now, according to researchers, Black men are about half as likely to pursue counseling as their white counterparts when experiencing anxiety or depression. Well, the first step in breaking that stigma is to talk about it. And so here with me is Dr. Michael A. Lindsay. He's Dean of the NYU Silver School of Social Work. And back with us is Dr. Jason Johnson. Mike, I want to start with you. Dr. Mike, my Morehouse man on set with me. Great to have you here with me on set, seriously. And I just, I've noticed that this conversation around therapy and Black men is becoming normalized, but maybe not normalized to the extent which it needs to be. Why do you think that's happening now?
Well, I think the pandemic has certainly had an impact on how people are being in touch with their emotions and their psychology, if you will. People are being encouraged to talk about how the pandemic has impacted them. And I think it's a great thing because for so long, there's been so much stigma related to talking about these issues. And so, the time is really perfect for us to be having these conversations because so many people are hurting as a result of what has transpired in the pandemic.
Yeah, it's nice to see.
So I have several videos, so I just kind of cut that a little short. Prodigy, when you speak about your dad and, therapy and, what he was dealing with, what was it like? I know you were younger, but what was it like for you growing up and knowing what occurred and you as a man and today, and like you said, what you're dealing with your daughter? How does that chain break? How did you break that?
Well, for my father, he had trauma when he was about 15 or 16 from his older brother committed suicide at my grandparents' house, which was their house. And my dad, they came home from church and found, his brother dead. He shot himself. And so the way my grandparents dealt with that was they were old school, moved to Baltimore from North Carolina, and they were old school, so they didn't do therapy or none of that. So the way they dealt with it was they pretty much had the funeral, and then my uncle was pretty much erased. Like, he didn't exist. There was no pictures of him in the house. I didn't know I had an uncle until my dad started going through his depression when he got older. So he never talked about him, and my mother never talked about him. So the family pretty much pushed him out, and that's how they dealt with it. They just put it all inside and moved on. My dad, I guess, tried his best to do that growing up. Luckily, he met my mother, had me, had my sister. Did good work wise. We had nice house, cars, and all, lived in a nice place and all that type of stuff. So I never saw anything wrong growing up, as far as the stuff he was dealing with behind the scenes. And he got about around, I'm 43. So my dad was 46 when he committed suicide. So um he started to have some struggles around, I guess, 2 years before he did it. He got laid off from his job. He had just relocated back to Baltimore from Virginia. He had just brought a brand new house that got built. And so he was struggling with the finances. We knew that was a struggle. He also was struggling with some things that he wanted to do work wise. He wanted to change jobs, but he knew that if he did change jobs, that would have made him happy. It wouldn't have made my grandparents happy, because he was always trying to live up to my grandparents, to be the successful black man, to do this, and because his brother didn't do it. Because one of the reasons why his brother committed suicide is because they pressured him so much to be this and that, and he decided to go. He wanted to go to the army. He didn't want to be a doctor, even though he went to school for it. But he decided to change his life, and they ridiculed him so much about it. My mom told me one day, like, went in on him about how dumb he was to do all the change and this and that, and the switch to go to the army and whatever. I guess a little bit after that is when he killed himself. So my dad, I guess, took it among himself to, you know, I'm going to do what they wanted him to do, because I don't want to go through that. But he put so much pressure on him, which again, I didn't know, because I'm thinking everything's fine. Because on the surface, just like with Twitch, with the guy at Twitch, I never saw none. And my dad was he was a pastor too, so he was always talking to people about their problems and helping them out, and always helping me and my friends out about stuff, and easy going. You could talk to him about anything, but you didn't know what he was dealing with behind the scenes. So he tried to, commit suicide once with pills. We found him, and then a couple put him. My mother made sure he started going to counseling, and we even went to family counseling with his parents, because a lot of this was struck with stuff he was dealing with his parents that he never talked about from back when he was 15 and 16. So they never had these talks till he was like 40. And I remember being in the lobby and hearing them yelling and screaming in the room, and I'm not really knowing what they're talking about, but it's like, I guess he finally was getting stuff off his chest that he probably should have done when he was younger, but they didn't put him in therapy to get this stuff off his chest. So, but I guess it wasn't enough for him, because he decided to try it again at their house, and their way of handling it this time was they locked him out. So they changed the locks to the house, and so my dad didn't have access to his parents' house no more. We didn't have access to the house no more, because they didn't want him to try to do it again in their house. So um, I guess a couple months later, he was still going to therapy, but um, I guess a couple weeks before he did it, I was staying with them. I was married at the time, and me and my ex-wife at the time had a big fight, and I decided to go live with my parents for a couple days or a couple weeks, just to cool things off, figure out what we was doing. And I didn't realize that it was like God had put me back in that house, or the new house whatever they were living at the time. And we was all back together. My mom, my sister, everybody was in the house for like a couple weeks, but we didn't know this was going to be the last couple weeks with him. And like OE was saying, I didn't see no signs of anything different until like a couple weekdays before. He would start watching TV shows that he would never watch with me and my sister, stuff that he wasn't even into, that he used to never be into. And he would be sitting down there watching it and having a good time with us like it was nothing. I remember my sister looking at each other like, what is he down here for? Like, he don't like this type of stuff. He don't like these type of movies, but he's sitting down here with popcorn enjoying himself. So we didn't put two to two together because we just saw he wanted to spend some time with us, but we know now he was trying to spend as much time as he could with us, because a couple of days later he decided to not use the pills. He got a gun and he shot himself. And he had the Bible right next to him. He had a note for us. And unfortunately, my sister, who is real close to my dad, and we always worried about her being similar, found him. And I remember my mom calling me that morning or that day and was like, get home, because she wasn't home, but my sister, had told her. So I remember it probably took me an hour to normally get to my parents' house. I think I got there in 20 minutes because I had to get to my sister. I wasn't even worried about my dad at the time. I was more concerned about my sister because I didn't want her to be there by herself after seeing this, because the trauma that now she's going to deal with, to walk in there and see her, daddy's little girl, and see her dad dead like that. And so I made sure that she was straight. And my mom got there, and we were in shock, but we weren't like surprised, because this was the third try, and he just decided to do it this way. And he left a note. He put a lot of it on his parents and the struggle with them. He put a lot of it on, he couldn't take care of the family financially. He felt like it was better for him to not be here because he couldn't provide the way he wanted to, even though my mom told him plenty of times during the whole depression, well, the 2 years that we knew what was going on, that she didn't care about the house, she didn't care about the car, she'll live in an apartment, we can downsize. But he still had this in his head that he had to keep on this certain level because of what his parents pressured him so much to be like. And he didn't, and so he just, I guess, felt like he was letting all of us down, and he decided the best thing for him to do was to leave. And of course, I was upset about it and mad about it, and because I didn't get a chance to talk to him about it. I didn't know what to say because I didn't know it was getting to this point, and into after the fact. So I was upset with myself about it. So me and my sister and my mom, we all went to counseling. We made sure we did the therapy, and I guess now I have an 11-year-old, and my daughter started going through depression 2 years ago when the pandemic hit, and I noticed it based on some of the TikTok stuff she was looking at, which I took away because she was looking at a lot of depressed stuff, depressed videos and stuff that would make her. I guess I would look at it like, this stuff making me sad. Why are you looking at this type of stuff? So we put her in therapy, and I remember her mother was, couldn't believe it. She was like, "Nah, my daughter's not she's not, nothing's wrong with her. She's fine." I'm like, "No, she's not. She's not. I see the signs from my dad. She's not." So I had to really break it down to her mother, like, she needs this now because my dad didn't get this back then. He didn't get the chance to go into therapy at an early age. So I'm not going to wait till she's 40 to do this with her now. I'm gonna do this now. We're gonna put her in it now, and she's been in it once a month since. Well, no, it was every week. Now she's going every other week. It's been about a year and a half later. She's doing a lot better, but we still, I still talk to her a lot, and the therapist still keeps us updated because it was at one point where she was thinking about checking out too. She never completely said what she wanted to do, but she said a couple of times she would write down, "I don't want to be here no more. I don't, sometimes I feel like I don't want to be here." And so I read that, and one thing I used to always stress during those 24-hour streams that OE was talking about was, listen to your kids, because they're telling us a lot of stuff, and sometimes us as parents, we don't listen to them. We just we think they're complaining about something, or they complain about a kid bullying them, or they're complaining about work, or stuff that we just brush to the side, not knowing that they might be really going through something. And if we don't take it serious, then they grow up to deal with this trauma, and then they end up struggling even more. And we could have dealt with this as they was young. And and I didn't want to do, like, I wanted to break the cycle because I didn't want her to go through what my dad went through. And I'm trying my best now. I know is still a work in progress, and all I can do is pray every day that, as long as I'm here on this earth, that she's going to be here with me. And then, and Lord forbid when I'm gone, she would still be here and not do something like my dad did. And hopefully she can help out other people as well. 'Cause she knows my dad's story too, and she knows everything. She wasn't alive when he was alive, but I look at her, I see him. And so I just wanted to make sure that she gets that therapy, because there's nothing wrong with therapy. There's nothing wrong with getting checked out, and talking about stuff to somebody, a professional. Now, every therapist is not the best therapist for everybody, but you can always go look around till you find that one that works. So I have no problem with talking about it, because I know, to me, this is my therapy when I talk about it, because I
Right.
get it off my chest. And if I can help anybody talk about it and get it off their chest, and or is going through something similar, because what Twitch did is exactly what my dad did. I'm sure his kids had no clue what he was going to do. And
Right.
now they're like me, over 10 years ago, wondering what the hell, like, where's daddy? Why is daddy gone? Like, I saw daddy love me. And that's what the kids are dealing with. That's what my sister and I were dealing with. Like, you said you loved us, but now you're gone
Right.
and you're not with us no more. And we're not even getting money out of this because you committed suicide.
Right.
So the insurance ain't giving us nothing. You're not helping us financially. So luckily, my mom is as strong a woman as she is, because she dealt with it, and we able to where we are now. But back then, it's like, if you love somebody and you love your kids, why don't take yourself out of this world, because you're not helping your kids. You're not at all. And I understand what Ms. Ridge is saying, because that's the whole point. I didn't even think about, like, you're in that moment and you're not thinking about your kids. But but like she said, like, it took at that moment with your kids. And if you got to keep a picture of your kids in your phone or in your wallet or whatever, and you start going through some thoughts of, like, or leaving this earth, look at your kids, because they're not going to do any much better because you're gone.
Thank you. Well said. Well said. Just going through from the beginning to up until now. You mentioned, basically, you broke the cycle. You're breaking the cycle because of what your uncle, your father, you're like, no, and you're zoning into your daughter to protect her and make sure she gets the best possible life. So you took the steps to break what they call toxic masculinity and the generational curses. You're talking about it. You're sharing your story. Um, you are saying, hey, it's okay to go to therapy. It's okay, not to be okay. So, I want people to understand that it is possible to break those generational cycles, that toxic masculinity that, we have seen or we grew up in, that it's not always okay because my mama did it or because my daddy did it. They did what at the time they felt was best, and that's how I have to look at it. Um, is it the best way? Was it the right way, or was it just the way that they knew how? Yes, some didn't want people into their business, so they're like, yes, cover it up. You know, when I was on Devin's stream last night, one of his guests said he got beat by his dad when he tried to express his emotions. His dad literally beat him and told him, suck it up. So imagine the trauma of a child that has to still continue to go through a generational cycle. So, Prodigy, I commend you for stepping up to break that generational cycle, starting with just yourself and being able to go to therapy and accept, okay, it's all right that I'm not okay in this moment and I need to gain that understanding or some type of closure or something to help me move and put one foot in front of the other. So when I have my children, I'm able to zone into this. And if my child deals with this, I'm able to say, you know what? I saw this, like you said, you watched the signs, you saw it. When the mom did not see, oh, it's nothing wrong. We got to stop saying that. It's nothing wrong with our children. Just because that they're our child or our children doesn't mean that they don't get, exposed to things at school. Bullying is one of the number one reasons why children decide to commit suicide. So when you're not listening to them and you're just brushing them off, because we come from a generation to where when we were being bullied, okay, we fight it out and we that's it. To this generation where kids are being bullied, it's not so good. They're being body shamed. If they have some type of disability, they're being picked on. Children are committing suicide at a rapid rate. Children.
My daughter's major struggle right now is her face, which is nothing wrong with her, but she's so addicted to this mask because of the pandemic that she loves to wear the mask because she's not comfortable with her own face. And this started about, I don't know, I guess from school, like you said, with bullies and stuff like that in fourth grade. And so I watch her sometimes, like in the bathroom, like she won't look at herself when she's washing her face or even brushing her teeth. And this is what we're working with in therapy now, which is why she's staying in it. And so, because, I know that this is something, like I tell her all the time, she's beautiful, but she has to feel that and learn that on her own. Because as much as I tell her, what she says right back to me is, "Your dad, you're supposed to say that." And so what I worry about is, her as she gets older and, the wrong dude taking advantage of that. Because of, and then she falls for, oh, he thinks I'm pretty, and there she goes, she's hooked. And I know a lot of us men have circled one, two women like that and done wrong and hurt them, and now they hurt, and now that's another thing they got to struggle with for the rest of their lives. And that's one of the things, challenges that I'm working with to try to protect her, but I know it's only so much I can do on that level. But that's one reason why she's staying in therapy, because that's one thing me and the therapist talked about, is trying to break that shell that she's in right now, as far as her own looks, not her body really. It's just mainly her face, which is, like I said, nothing wrong with her.
One thing I can say that has helped the group of young women that I work with in empowerment is I have allowed them to, one session we did, I allowed them to have sticky notes or index cards, but preferably sticky notes. And on a board, they were able to go up. I wanted them to write on this, everything that has been said to them negative. And I had them go put it on the board. Everything that they feel about themselves, like, what do you see that you don't like about yourself? Hair, face, my body, my clothes, my eyes. And I would have them put it on the board. And I would have them write it down, because I want them to remember what they said. So as we go through this empowerment session of building them, and this is why I say empowerment starts early. It's not when we get here. Empowerment starts early. So when you're working with them and they're going through the stages of, I am beautiful, I am me, and you're carrying them through those empowerment sessions And a month later, they start to go pull down those things that they don't feel about themselves. And they'll start putting up on the board more of what they see of themselves in a positive light. Empowerment is so important to me when it comes to young women and young men because it needs to start at an early age because of some of the trauma they have been through. Like you said, the bullying, they're going to need us, that extra layer to help them get back. And as you say, Prodigy, yes, we're parents. So they look at us as like, oh, you're supposed to say that because you're mommy and your daddy. They don't see in what we see. It's what everybody else sees of them is what matters to them. Because again, they feel like over here, well, he loves me. He's daddy. That's mommy. They love me. So they're not gonna say my face looks this way or my hair is this. But over here is where I'm gonna focus on because that's what matters to me. And it's the negativity that comes from over there that absorbs into them. But then mommy and daddy has to turn around and try to fix that situation. So what you're doing is what we love to see is being a father. That man that says, you know what, I'm going to give it all I have for my child. I'm going to listen to my child. My child will not be a statistic if I can help it. And sometimes is it exhausting on us? Yes. So Prodigy, what do you do? What do you do? Because you have to have an outlet. You have to be able to, restore, to be able to deal with that because I know it's not easy. So as a father, as a Black man, what do you do to kind of have that outlet to be able to restore, to give back? That's so important.
I mean, for me, is I found this community on Twitch, being on here and just being able to be the DJ, play music, and create stuff and show myself to a whole bunch of different people is what keeps me happy and going, and just knowing that I'm making other people feel good at that whenever I'm doing something at that moment. And I know, like I say too, the music stops. We got to go back to our regular lives and to our real worlds. But for that little bit of time that all of us on DJ Mad Lab, OE, Miss Riz, when we're on here, even you, Beauty, when we're on here, people are coming on here to get away from some things and to enjoy something positive and happen and to bring their spirits up to help them keep going. And that makes me feel good. And that's why I keep doing what I'm doing on here. And and hopefully, and my daughter sees that too. But I know for me, I got to do better with just as she's getting older and connecting and being a father and being stern on her about certain things, but also and listening to her, but also not losing that closeness that we have that she can keep coming to me. Because it's a fine line with disciplining and then losing that, because then eventually she don't want to talk to you no more. She don't want to she rather talk to her mom, or she don't want to talk to her either because she feel like both of y'all ganging up on her. So and I don't think we're at that point yet, but it's still a fine line. Like, she'll talk to me if I ask her, but I know sometimes even now I have to pull more to get stuff out of her. And she's talking more to friends and this and that, which is cool, but you don't know what always they're talking about either. And in this age with social media and these group chats and discords and all the stuff that all these kids are in, anything, they could talk about anything they want and talk about whoever they want. And it's hard to regulate that stuff without just taking it away completely.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hello, I am DJ Drake. Come on in, come on in. I saw someone else that joined that was new. I do want to say hello to Flippy2734. Welcome in. Um, so again, I mean, these are just tools that, that are great that you're using, Prodigy. And again, just being able to share your whole entire story, and how you cope, um, what your boundaries are, um, what your coping mechanism is, your decompression. We all say music is therapy, but a safe space is therapy as well. Bringing people into a safe place where they can feel like they can dump, or they can just release, is very important too. So thank you so much for that. Um, so Miss Riz, I know that you will be having to um, leave us in a moment. So I want to ask you as well, your thoughts. What do you have to extend? What gems do you have to leave?
I think that what helped me was really just getting to know myself, and that's hard work. Therapy, of course, but it's hard work and you have to be willing to do the work. You me really questioning things, as Black people, we are raised, most of us, you don't ask questions. You don't question mom, you don't question dad, you don't question adults, you don't question
Mhm.
pastor, you don't ask questions. So we
Mhm.
we assume these values, we assume opinions about ourselves, all these different things. And we get into adulthood, and we continue on that path of whatever's been instilled in us. Like Prodigy was talking about his uncle and his dad, and what the parents, his grandparents were, what their values were. And so then it becomes a trickle down effect. So I would say that, one, get therapy. My saying is, everybody needs to be laying on somebody's couch somewhere. That's kind of how I believe we all could benefit from therapy. Um,
Yes.
but be willing to do the hard work. So it takes courage, and it takes community, and it takes commitment. And you will hear me say that all the times. It takes courage, it takes community, because you need a village, and it
You need
takes
a village.
commitment. And the commitment is, you keep going when you don't want to keep going. The more I learned about myself over the years, the easier it was for me to rest in who I am. And it was
Mhm.
easier for me to dispel the myths about who I am and who I was and what people thought I was. It was easier for me to kind of to accept, even when the challenges came, because I had
Mhm.
my own tools to navigate through those rough times. The tools that I had initially were tools that were handed down to me from other people's values. And now I have my own tools through therapy, and then the
Mhm.
work that I do. When I work with my clients, I learn from them. And I'm
Yes.
to say, hey, I'm a coach. I'm not a therapist. Here, go over here and see Sally. She can help you with that. But I think that, really, like I said, it takes courage, it takes community, it takes commitment, and it takes getting to know who you are. And if you can just answer the question, who am I? And when you think about that question,
Ooh.
who am whenever I do training, I have people, that's the first thing I have them do. And they're
Yes.
not allowed to say, I'm Sally's daughter or someone's mother,
Mhm.
someone's employee. Who are you? I'm an amazing Black woman who's been through some life struggles, and I'm continuing on my path. I just kind of threw that out there, right? But that's who I am.
Mhm.
Those other things are roles that I have in life. And so, really getting to the point where you can look at yourself and really kind of assess, who am I? Why do I like the color blue? Why do I like
Mhm.
orange ice cream? Like, why? It answers
Mhm.
why. It helps you to be empowered and really kind of stand in your truth. It's a hard ass work, excuse my language. It's hard work, and it's constant work. But if you
Yes.
do the work and take the baby steps, you will be so much better for it. And those suicide ideations and that depression and those things may still come. I'll tell y'all in a minute, I'm not taking med, but I will pop an edible in a minute. That's me. That's real. That's who I am. But I have to
Mhm.
get to the point where I would do that, as opposed to feeling like I had to subscribe to the fact that some doctor told me I would be taking prescription drugs for the rest of my life. It was my
Right.
choice. So
Right.
that's those are my nuggets. Hopefully they'll help somebody. Thank you
What
for
did you always tell me? If we do save one person, we've done our job.
one
That's what
person.
you always tell me. Miss Riz will be back next Tuesday.
Yes.
Yeah, we will be doing a teaching session next Tuesday here on the stream as well. We're going to continue this and try to help as many people as we possibly can. Lady Day, I see you. I see you in the background. I see you talking. Keep talking. David C. Dennis, salute. 2:30 in London in the morning, and you roll out with us. Salute, family. Thank you so much. Please get some rest. 2:30 in the morning, but we so appreciate you. RN we see what you're saying as well. Um, I can honestly say this work is not easy. And I see my wise pair and I see my Herb's mom in here too. They're like I said, when they both come in here, either one of them coming here, is covered. Y'all read those gems that they're dropping because they're covering this chat. Either one of them in here, when both are in here, it's powerful. So I see you both moms. I see you queen mothers. Now, the one thing I can say personally for myself, with losing my son, I didn't understand. I didn't understand why. I didn't understand why I carried this beautiful being for 9 months and barely 4 years. He's gone. I didn't understand it. Nothing in the world can make me understand why. So I started feeling like, well, did I do something wrong? To the point to where my 4-year-old, I couldn't trade places with him in that hospital bed. And I'm literally on my knees begging, you know? And that was the downside for me. That was the complete downside for me. I felt like I questioned my faith. I questioned me as a mother, given that I already had 3 other children. But I questioned myself as a mother, like, what did I do wrong? It was completely nothing to do with me. But as a mother, you can't tell me that what I'm seeing with my baby laying in this hospital bed and you're telling me he's not going to make it. And I have the painful choice of removing life support. I can tell you exactly what I did. I ran down the hallway. I took off running down the hallway, screaming to the top of my lungs. And I happened to run dead into his doctor. And I fell on my face. And I screamed and kicked and screamed and kicked, calling my son's name, telling him, don't leave me, come back. Fast forward, going through that process of holding him take his last, while he take his last breath, waiting for family to come up, going through the whole planning process took a toll on me. At that point in time, I wanted to go be with my son. This is where you talk about in the moment, Miss Riz. I wanted to go be with my son. Although I had 3 other children, I felt like I failed as a mother. I went and ran bath water. I contemplated, well, should have slit my wrist. Well, I was contemplating everything. I was so bad they had me on all kind of sedatives. I was that numb. I had to be that numb in order to not feel any pain. Because my body literally felt pain. I sat in that tub of water. I ain't answered nobody's phone call. I was told them I was fine. I just wanted to sleep. Just leave me alone. Just let me sleep. Maybe I'll wake up and this nightmare will be over. Nobody left the house. I just asked them to leave me alone. But I ran that bathtub of water. I took that bottle, the half a bottle of pills. I got in that water and I laid back. I said, baby, I'm coming. Not thinking I had 3 other children. My mother, my father, my brothers, and a whole village that supported me. It wasn't that I didn't have the support. I was hurt. I was in pain. I woke up in the hospital because my god sister found me. But that's what I went through. That started my spiral. Therapy. I don't want to go to therapy. What for? I ain't gonna bring my son back. Why I need to go to therapy? I drove to the building, act like I was going. I walked up to the steps, touched the door, turned around, and went back and got in the car. What do I need to be here for? I ain't gonna bring Jalen back. No, we was talking to Miss Riz. But the thing is that with that village, with that support, I had someone around me 24/7. 24/7. I felt like I was on a mental ward myself, the way that I was being watched. It was people taking the morning shift, the noon shift, and the night shift that would stay up all night to make sure that I didn't try it again. It wasn't until one of my friends, a couple of months later, after my son passed, did commit suicide because she lost her 3-month-old and she could not bear to be without him. But because they left her alone, she ended her life. And it wasn't until then that I said, you know what? I'll try this therapy thing. But I didn't go by myself. My mother, my god sister, I was driven. I was not left alone. And of course, you know, that first session wasn't easy at all. It wasn't easy. I screamed. I screamed to the top of my lungs. And the thing about it is, my therapist did not care. Yeah, Mom, it took a lot, it took a powerful lot of praying for me, for my deliverance. We all felt this really hard. You're right, Mama. But I can honestly say, baby steps is what it had to be. Baby steps. to be able to accept therapy, to be able to accept whatever medication that I needed to be on at that particular time, to be able to say what I was feeling, what I was holding in order to start healing. It's painful sometimes when you have your healing. It's painful, very. But you keep pushing at it and you keep having the support. You keep pushing at it and you put little baby steps and you keep pushing at it. You'll sit right here where I'm sitting right now, going to school, purposely wanting to help others, giving back to what was given to you to help restore your life. Right now, I am studying for my master's because I want to dig even deeper to help other people because of my personal story, my journey. Does your grief journey ever end? No. Holidays. Do I not think about my son during the holidays especially? Of course I do. And around Super Bowl time to the time he passed 3 days after his 4th birthday on Friday the 13th of March. He was my early birthday present. My birthday is March 30th. He was born March 10th, and he passed on March 13th. So needless to say how March feels sometime for me. But I would never forget he got sick the day after Super Bowl. So all those dates resonate in my mind. Day after Super Bowl, he went in the hospital. And I started doing a countdown in my brain. Oh, Valentine's Day, I remember this. Or he had these tests going on this. And his birthday, he was in a coma. You know, all of this starts playing in my mind. And then here's my birthday coming up. That was my birthday twin, my gift. And he's not here. So all of these things resonate in my mind, but I'm in a better space to where I can deal with those. If I start feeling like I'm feeling like empty or starting to feel depleted on this thing, I know I call my mama. I know I can go to my mama's house and lay on her couch. And she done asked me one thing because she already knows. That's just how in tune she is with me. But because of everything that was instilled in me to help me walk this journey, and it was nothing but pure unconditional love and support, I extend this back to the community. So you ask why I do what I do? Because of me and my story. So when they say, check on your strong friends, check on your happy friends, again, because we do this for a living or a profession doesn't mean that we don't need that phone call. Doesn't mean to say, hey, I'm checking on you. Hey, how are you? Hey, let's talk. And I have my circle of accountability partners. Most of y'all, when y'all go in Prodigy Stream, if y'all see me coming there, first thing he says, go to sleep. Go rest. Because in the background, he knows what I deal with and what I do. And sometimes he'll pull the rug and be like, you know what? I'm going to tell Lex Diamonds, if you don't do X, Y, Z, then this is what we're going to do. OE, same way. Miss Riz, strong support system. Sometimes I call and be like, I just want to vent. And I'm allowed to do that. as they are to me. I took a little, what I call hiatus over the weekend because I know I had been busy a lot. And I call it a rabbit hole. I went and jumped into my rabbit hole just so I could just have a moment, you know, especially after what happened with this tragedy. And I let my circle know, they knew. But the thing is that I had people IG whisper, text message, hey, you okay? Just checking on you. You've been very quiet lately because if you know me, you know how I operate. I even had my sister, the one and only Mrs. Cox, text me a chart, mental health check-in. What color are you today? These are the people. Okay, Prodigy. These are the people that you want in your life. And I do the very same thing. I think I get on their nerves sometimes. Because if OE don't answer the phone, I'm texting. I'm going to IG. I'll threaten to drive to Baltimore if I don't hear something. Lex the same way. I'll get on the plane or I'll be in the car. I have to navigate, you know, my way there, but I'm coming. Anybody that needs me, I extend myself because of how people extended themselves to me. This is my purpose. And when Ms. Riz says you're here to know what your purpose is, to learn what your purpose is, why? Oh, Felicia, yeah, I come for her all the time. And sometimes you don't have to respond, even if I know that you see it. Even if you just need a moment, I'm cool with that. But if you don't respond to me, then I'm taking it to the next level. And I will send somebody to your house. I've done it. This is where we need to be accountable. It hurts sometimes seeing the division when life is just a click from being gone. And our men are so important. And to see the suicide rates, because they feel like it's no way out. They don't understand that we need them. We always hear who runs the world, and it's girls. We can't do it without them. We cannot do it without them. This is heavy for me. What I do is heavy, and I do it with a passion because I want to see everybody live. It's not even winning, because when you live, you win. When you live, you win. You may be down to your last dime, but you're here. Everyone that is dealing with something, if you don't have someone that you feel like you can trust, that you can reach out to, this is a safe space. Please don't give up. Please don't give up. There's too many of us that genuinely care about you. too many. Black men, we need you. We know it's hard. God knows we know it's hard. We know it's not easy. We know that you've gone through toxic masculinity. We know that you have gone through generational challenges. We know that you have been beaten. You have been scorned. You've been told that you're nothing. You've been told that you're beneath the dirt that we walk on. But if you're listening to me, rise up from the ashes that people are trying to put you down in. You have queens that will be here. You have queens that will lift you. This is a movement. With what Devin has started, with what Samuel has started, this is a movement to save lives. It's not to make money. It's to save lives. You all are worth more than money. You're one of the precious things on this earth. And we cannot do without you. Your soul needs to be here. Good evening, DJ Point Blank. Sturdy Soul family. Ariel Breezy. We always talking about adjusting our queen's crowns. Well, we need to adjust our king's crowns because sometimes they have the biggest weight on them. It's like they wake up already trying to figure out the day. They wake up trying to figure out the day. They go to sleep trying to figure out the next day. It's heavy. In the meantime, getting hit and slapped with whatever comes their way that's unexpected. They're waking up with 2 center blocks on them already, and they ain't even stretched, not even a shower. So imagine what else is going to be placed on top of those 2 center blocks that's going to get heavier throughout the day. So queens, when they're out there doing what they're supposed to be doing, do not belittle them. You lift them. If they had a hard day, don't you look at them and say, you're a man. You're supposed to have a hard day. But we expect when we come in and we've had a hard day for them to listen to us, rub our feet, run our bath water, and etc. Breezy, good question. I have put a Instagram group called Kings of Dopeness. And I think that group has been in there since the very first time we did a men's panel. And sometimes I have to go in there and shake up the room because they get a little bit too quiet for me. Just so I can say, hey, I'm shaking the room. How you doing? Mad Live knows, Deb knows, OE knows, Prodigy knows, Tantrum knows. I'll go in there and shake up the room. How you doing? What's going on? Y'all too quiet over here. I want to see more of what you all do. the group of men that you all put together, and that y'all truthfully stand on it. That you, if you exchange numbers, or if you say I'm gonna be there, that you do it. Hold each other accountable as well. If you haven't heard from one of them, shake up the room. Like my big bro Alizé said, Beauty come in. If y'all seen Raccoon Gang, Beauty come in just like this. Hey, what's going on? Hey, what is it? Yep, I'm here. Accountability, self-reflection, trustworthiness. Trustworthiness. Hey, DJ J. Jonah, come on in. What can you do for each other? As a matter of fact, what can us queens do for you? To help you in your mental. Ladies, if you have a king in your life, run his bath water. Cook his favorite meal. Give him a pedicure, a manicure, something that will make him feel like it's worth him going on another day. I pick a day and I will hold the door for the men I come past. Absolutely. But we add, us women feel like, oh, chivalry. He should hold the door open. He should this, he should that. What about what we need to extend back to him? What about what we need to give him? What about his self-care day? We all scream, we need self-care. We want to get our nails done, our hair done, our feet done. We want to go, shopping. What about him? Just because man was created first and he's supposed to be the forefront does not mean that you run him in the ground. He's already facing that from society. So I ask, what can I do for you? To put a smile on your face, if it's just for a moment. Because believe it or not, when they have that moment of a glimpse of a smile, it does everything for them. Surprise him with his favorite candy bar, a card. Get creative. Get creative. Listen to him. Oh, this is so important. Queens, listen to him. Because a lot of times we miss listening to them because we're already in a whole nother zone, wanting to wait to hear what they got to say so we can block on them. When sometimes, if you listen to them, you can zone in on what's going on. I'm tired. I'm personally tired of picking up my phone and hearing about another one of our men took their life because they were hurting on the inside, but then they were smiling on the outside. I'm tired. This is where the action is. This is where we talk about it, but this is where we have to make a move. And again, I commend Devin. I commend Samuel because they made moves to start helping other men. I commend Prodigy for standing on his feet for 24 hours to help men. DJ OE standing on his feet to help men. Where's the men's movement train? Where's the appreciation and the movement empowerment train for our men? Where is it? Who else is going to join in the movement? No, you're not a pain in the butt, RSOs. You stay in your son's face. Where's the movement? Team Dopeness, we are one, is one movement. Where's the branch off? Where's the continuation? I would like to see elevation in the situation of our men. My God. They're committing suicide 3.5 times more than women? Because they feel like it's no way out. It hurts. It hurts deeply. But this team is only one person. It's one unit. But we're doing everything that we can. This is why I brought Deshauna on here. Her mental health academy. Jump in on it. Jump in on it. Dev has been here from the beginning of sharing his story, not even knowing that he was going to stream. But because of persistence, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, you got a story to tell? No, you're going to stream. No, beauty, nope.
Don't do me like that now. Look, we all know how it started. But you're right. You're right.
I didn't know Devin from anyone. It was DJ Herbie Love that brought him on here so he could get a release and be able to share his story. And look at it now. Look at him now. Say what?
Now I talk way too much. You can't shut me up.
No, you tell a story. Some men didn't talk at all. So when you talk. OE, you know you're part of this team and you know we're here for you. You know that. And I appreciate you even being transparent enough to let people know, hey, I'm not okay right now. But I hope that this gives you a boost to know that you're going to be able to put one foot in front of the other and it's going to be all right. The encouragement, the adjustment of your crown. DJ Mad Live, I don't even want to go here with you. From the beginning, just the transparency, the love, the outpouring, all of it, the support. Felicia Dev streams every Monday at 8:30. Please follow Dev. Please everybody follow Dev because I had to go out in the Twitch streets last night and recruit people. So if you could just click on his name and follow him, he will be in the bathroom where he is now every Monday at 8:30.
Got it. Thanks, Judy.
Please click on his name, follow him, turn on notification because last night's first stream was amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Although I mod for him, but I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank you, dude. I appreciate everything. I really do.
DJ Mad Live.
Yes.
I know you haven't had much to say. You said that's all I'm gonna say, but I know you. So, what do you have to drop? I'm not gonna apologize for going through my speech because this is just what my spirit is led to do. So I really hope it helps. That's just my hope deep inside my spirit that it helps. So you have the floor.
Is the delay gone? Because I wanted to make sure that
It's gone.
That's why I changed up. I ain't like that delay. I know people are sitting here wondering, like, why is Mad Live just sitting there not saying nothing? Like you wanted me to give a short version, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to get out of the way. For those that know me, from my stream, being on Twitch and coming and listening to me and vibing with me, you notice I'm always smiling. I'm always smiling. I'm always laughing. I'm always cracking jokes. And it's not a facade. It's not a protective barrier. This is who I am. Okay. For me, I don't knock anybody's life and what you went through. I respect and I hear you because trust me, I cannot walk your journey for you. I did not go through your life for you, nor did I go through with you. I just met you here. Okay. But for my life, let me give you something short. I lost my mom in 1979. Yeah, 1979. I'm 51. I beat up a lot of people because of that, but then I got over it. I lost my father almost 3 years ago, right before the pandemic. So I don't have any parents. I can do whatever I want to do. See what I'm saying? That's how I am. You see what I'm saying? So let me give y'all this while I have this little bit of time, because I hear so many different things. What we have to begin to do as men, and I'm speaking to my brothers because she asks, this movement that we're talking about, it's actually been a calling on my life, and I'm supposed to be doing it with young men, but I also do it with older men because I have a passion for brothers. You know what I mean? And the one thing that I want brothers to do is exercise your faith. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing I got to take out. It's one thing. Let me give you an example. We go to church, right? You go to church, you get saved. And then after you get saved, you know, you accept Christ, all that. And then what? Then what? You start going to church regularly. You know what I mean? You start going, you start feeling better. But then what happens? Life continues to press down. You know what I mean? But the thing is, we don't exercise our faith. Now watch this. Take both hands. I'm gonna give you an illustration. If I take a 25-pound weight and put it in my right hand, and I take a 5-pound weight and put it in my left hand, and I exercise them for 31 days, which hand is going to be stronger? The one with the 25-pound weight or the one with the 5-pound weight? Y'all all know the answer to that. Okay? It's the one with the 25-pound weight if you don't know. Okay? As you change your life, as you become mature, you have to exercise the new thing in your life. Don't dwell on the old thing. Don't go back to the old thing. Once you become a new, you have to exercise that new man. If you don't exercise that new man, he won't get strong enough to overpower the old man. So then you're always in that old man space. You're always in that old man dwelling. But you shouldn't even be there no more. You should leave that behind. You have to exercise your faith. Me, I'm an albatross. Okay? I'm an albatross. I am so rare. I have no time for negativity. I don't. I just don't allow it. I don't laugh stuff off. I see stuff very humorous. You know what I mean? So I just make sure that I stay in a positive space. Now, RL Breezy asked a question. I want to answer that question. He said, what brothers have, what was that question? Can you pull that up or do I have to go find it?
I'm going to try to,
I'm going to try to find that. He said, do we have a support system and do we have somebody to hold us accountable?
Right.
Okay.
Accountability partner. Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, watch this. My support system is God. My support system is God. I put everything on him. I don't worry about nothing. I don't stress too long because I know I can give it to him. You see what I'm saying? My support system is him. My accountability partner, she's upstairs. My wife, she holds me accountable. You know what I mean? When I'm not strong enough, I'm connected to her and she gives me what I need. Now, I know a lot of people don't have that. I understand that. I get that, okay? I have a life partner. I have a wife who is there for me to basically, she spoils me, okay? I don't have a lot of money. No, I don't. But watch this. I'm richer than Jay-Z. I'm richer than the man that owns Tesla. I'm richer than Bill Gates. It's not monetary. My riches are not monetary. Okay? My riches are in my family. Okay? My riches are in my wife and our 8 children. You know what I mean? I can share kind of similar stories with y'all, but not so deep. There's been times where I wanted to eat my own gun. Yes, I wanted to eat my own gun. You know what I mean? But like other people have said on this panel, I look towards my kids. I was able to look towards my children, to look towards something else. And like I said, I had exercised my faith enough to rationalize that, hey, my life is not my own to take. It's not mine. My life does not belong to me. Your life is over once you have a child. It's a wrap. That life belongs to the child. You know what I mean?
We like everybody here knows that you have a specific purpose. You've been called here for a reason. Okay. We are still today trying to learn what that purpose is. I actually know what mine is. Mine is to help uplift other men. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. So I make myself available. I go through people's discourse and try to stay positive. I go through IGs. Listen, I'm in your DM.
Mm-hmm.
Like the hoe you don't want chasing you down. That's me. Mm-hmm. I'm in your DM like, what's up? You good?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When I have tough times, and what Beauty is talking about, right before I had to go on a stream, right before, to play music and do all that, I went into her stream because I wasn't feeling myself. And I cried my eyes out. We all have an access somewhere. We all have a safe place to go to. You just got to relate to it. And when you know that times is getting rough, go there. Get there. Don't hesitate. Like Samuel said before he left, he said there are things that are external and there are things that are internal. We spend too much time focusing on the things that we can't control on the outside. Nah. Internally, that's the stuff that you deal with. You know what I mean? Miss Riz talked about knowing you. She talked about knowing your favorite color. Right there. You see how this is? It's you have to practice these things. Exercise. You have to exercise these things. If you don't exercise the positive things, the new things that's coming your way, you won't be able to stand strong. Now watch this. You got to exercise your faith. God said when you are weak, he is made strong. Your strength is not in you. It's in him. Your strength is in your promises that God has given you when you accepted him. I'm going to say something that's real rare and y'all going to think I'm crazy. Okay? Y'all going to think I'm crazy. But listen, one thing I don't care about is what people think about me. I love me. I love me. I love everything about me. Even this gray hair that's getting in my eyebrow. It's getting on my nerves, but I love me. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, you have to be satisfied and content in yourself. That being said, the thing that I'm going to tell y'all, I already know for a fact, without a doubt, and you couldn't tell me any different, I am not a black man. I am not a black man. I am a spirit, a living, breathing spirit that is inside of an African American melanin body. You hear me? Because see, when you put yourself in a bracket, this is what you do. You're gonna stick yourself in this bottle, and once you stick yourself in this bottle, you're gonna put the lid on and you're gonna contain yourself. No, my God is like living water. And all he does is pour into my life. And as he pours into my life, the abundance comes and it overflows. He said, my cup runneth over. So that means that as he pours into me, I pour into you, and you begin to pour into somebody else. And it trickles and it trickles and it trickles. You see what I'm saying? We got to stop being contained. Yes. Like we live inside of bottles. You are much more than what you think you are. But you have to know it for yourself. See, me, I know it for me. I'm just telling you. OE, your bills and your money situation, that's a small thing. And I'm not making light of it, bruh. I'm not making light of it. God will handle that as soon as you give it to him. Stop trying to deal with it on your own. That's the thing. We don't want to release stuff. We so tight. But watch this. Another illustration. If you go to somebody with a closed fist and they got a gift in their hand that they want to give you, How can you get it if they got a closed fist? If I got $1 million stuck in my hand, if I got a diamond ring that I want to give you and it's in my hand and my fist is clenched tight, how are you going to get it? You can try to forcefully take it from me and try to pry my fingers open, but wouldn't it be well received if I just release my fingers and give it to you? Wouldn't it be so much more appreciated if I just released it and gave it to you? This is what God wants to do for you. But we gotta change our way of thinking. I don't have no listen, this is just a fraction of what I want to tell y'all. I've been sitting here boiling.
I know you have.
Seriously, nobody wants to be boxed in. Okay? Everywhere you go, if you walk by faith and not by sight, do you know that you're protected by God everywhere you go? He told you that his angels are encamped around you. God said if he be for you, who could be against you? You have to dig into his promises. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of promises in his word. But if you don't know his word, it's kind of hard to have a relationship with somebody if you don't talk to him. It's kind of real hard to have a relationship with somebody. Now watch this. If I don't talk to my wife, do I have a relationship with her? No. How can you talk to somebody with a closed mouth? Come on, Kev, talk to me like I'm going to talk to you with my mouth closed. No. I need to understand. We have to have a dialect. And watch this. As men, take this barrier, okay? This one. Take this barrier, okay? Pull it down. Pull it down, because watch this. Even the illustrations that I'm giving you, God said that he removed the veil so that you can come in, so that you can sup with him. You know what sup means? That means kick it. So that you can chill with him, so that you can hang with him. But see, I don't want to force anything on anybody. But I'm telling you, if you start as a baby, if you start from the beginning and start small, okay? Don't try to go to the stake. As we get a certain age, we want the meat. I'm still sucking on this breast. I keep it light. I keep it simple. I'm gonna stay on this titty for a while. You know what I mean? Until he tells me like, hey, Jewel, you can have some meat today. You know what I mean? You got some meat. Go ahead and get that steak. I'm just that real. And listen, everything that I'm telling you right now is not of me. I've been sitting here asking God for the words to be able to tell y'all. And this is just a fraction of what he has. It's just a fraction. This journey that I've been on, I have not been on this journey by myself. The Bible says, God said in his word, he said, there's a threefold cord, okay? Me, him, and my wife. And we're intertwined. As long as I keep that, if you want to look at it like this, that whole Jay-Z thing, no. Up at the top, that's God. Down in each corner, down at the bottom, that's me and my wife. That's that connection. You got to piece these things together. But if you don't have that, listen, watch this. And this is for females and this is for males. If you single, you still got that bond. It don't take 3. I'm sorry, look at that. I'm messing up. It don't take 3. It's just 2. And all you got to do is just gel together. Glue yourself and connect yourself with him to the point where you don't let go. Because guess what? He is not letting go of you. God said in his word, he said, even if you make your bed in hell, even if you go to the crack house, even if you go down the street and smoke that weed, even if you go to that dude house and start doing things that you ain't supposed to be doing, and you over there hanging at that girl crib and you ain't supposed to be over there, guess what? He right there with you. But it's not the fact that he's not acknowledging you. I ain't got time for you right now. I want to do this. All you got to do is turn to him, and he'll pull you out of that thing. He'll walk you right out of there. Watch this. Unscathed, unharmed, and still with every crown jewel that you deserve that he gave you when you accepted him. But listen, I don't want to preach. I don't want to preach. This is not me preaching. This is life. It's life. He said there is, watch this. And Kev, I was in your stream and I need to give this to you. This is not from me. This is from him. God said in his word, he said, life and death is in the power of the tongue. And right after that, he gave you the commandment he gave you the instructions on what to do. He said, life and death is in the power of the tongue. And right after that, he said, choose life.
Yeah.
Now, hey, so first
choose.
of all, you caught me off guard with that one, coming out with all that energy, dog. Like,
I know, man, live. So I knew that's why I went the way that I went.
Yeah.
Because I knew the end part.
Let me tell you something, though, Beauty. You can't put me on no more serious stream of Mad Live, bro. Because like Mad Live is one of them dudes that have you laughing at a funeral, and you don't even.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Like it's the most. He spoke some real stuff, right? You know what I'm saying? But it did. I mean that like I can't be on another serious thing with Mad Live because he's gonna have me dying laughing in the most awkward part. You know what I'm saying? But some of the things that he spoke on is real, right? But I want to come back, and one thing I love about these streams is that that you get to give perspective, and you can see perspective, right? So everything DJ Mad Live was saying was actually 1,000% facts, right? Mm-hmm. But there's a process to get there. You know what I mean? And that, like I can't remember her name. That was Liz. What was her name?
Miss Riz.
Miss Riz was on here, and she was saying a lot of the hardest work is done. People don't see it. It's all done mentally, and it takes years to get to a point before you get to that space. So you know, like coming from the space where a lot of people have the benefit of looking at your kids and your luxury and your motivation to live on, man. I'm on the other side of it where everything in front of me was telling my kids was better off. You know, from how the interactions with them, from the relationship and things like that. So as a dad, you still feel those things you feel as a dad, right? But when you're getting the energy coming from that direction and you understand it, but you can't connect it, it puts you in a different space of how you can be an asset to your kids. You know what I'm saying? So when you get into that space sometimes, like, yeah, God is real, God is powerful, bro. But like it's hard, it's real hard to hear God when you got the devil in your ear just as loud. You know what I'm saying? So it's in the space where I'm one of the most spiritual fellas individuals you'll meet. And my family's been in the church. I've been raised in the church. I've been in a space where my faith is strong, and the only reason I'm here is because my faith is strong, right? But on the side of it, where Mad Live is coming from right now is that the side where so many people like myself miss the message because we're not there yet, and we feel like that it's going to take so much work to get there, and we envy people with that mindset when we were at that place, right? Mm-hmm. So as I learned to cope, as I learned what I was dealing with, as I learned myself, as I learned my triggers, I learned a little bit of who I was, man, my ear became clearer to God. You know what I'm saying? I was able to internalize him. And I'm talking about throughout my entire depression, bro. I'm listening to TD Jakes. I'm listening to everybody, bro. Gospel music 24/7. It was nothing that can get through to me at that time to tell me that you need to stay. The only thing that got to me through that point was somebody telling me and showing me like that, like, I know you feel like this right now, but we love you, bro. And if you're gone, like, it's gonna fuck us up, like, severely. Like, I know what you feel right now. I can't imagine what it feels like. I never knew you were dealing with these things. You were always the most happy person. You always heard other people's stuff, and you had your own battle going on sometimes, right? And sometimes I think people forget, man, that when you're that space of light, right, I don't think people understand the amount of darkness you have to go through to give up that energy to be a light in someone else's life, right? And when I see DJ Twitch, it reminds me of a space where, like, DJ Twitch, I literally can see where he was, right? Like I mentioned on my show last night where he was dancing with his wife. He wasn't doing that for him. He was doing that to keep her spirits up. He knew what he was going to do at that point. He was doing that so she can have memories, so he can do, although he felt what he felt, he was giving the extra ounce of what he had as a man left to be, okay, this is me sitting down like DJ Prodigy said with my kids to eat something I don't normally watch. This is what I'm gonna give you right now. My gift to you, but baby, I can't take it no more. I love you, but I can't wake up and see this no more. God, I know you were real, but if you were here, why would you make anybody feel like this? Why would you make anybody go through this? You know what I'm saying? So like,
it's the mind, it's the mental.
It's
It
the
is
mental
the
part of
mental,
the
and this is why it is so important for this movement to continue. And I'm
Exactly.
loving it that I'm seeing finally Dev, Samuel, Prodigy, OE, Mad Live, you know, put it out there, and it starts to come to, it's coming to light, and it's a movement. Hey, Nita Don, hello, beautiful smile, hello. But
Beauty,
I
can
know
I give up these 2 gems real quick?
yes.
Please let me give out these 2 gems, okay? Like we all agree it's a headspace,
Hold on
right?
one second. Can you please, Miss Sweet Tea, catch that, please? What? Absolutely not. We getting hit with
so I'm learning Twitch, so this is why we need mods, huh?
oh, absolutely.
I got you. I got you.
Not in here. The devil is a lie. Can we get those out? Okay. You don't see it on your screen. I don't see it right here, but I see it on my end of StreamYards.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
You don't see anything? Yeah, it
Uh-uh.
says Sex Finds new site with hot girls.
Yeah, I see all. It's 3 of them.
Yes, 3 of them. Okay, so because you're in your okay. All right. So yeah, because I'm not seeing it like on Twitch, but I can see it on StreamYard. Okay. All right. Yeah, because there's gonna be another part to this. So yeah, go ahead and drop your gem.
Yeah, I just want to give out these 2 gems, okay? Mindset, mind space. The enemy is a defeated foe. Okay? The victory lies in Christ. He defeated him at Calvary. Okay? You got to have that mindset, exercising that faith that God did that. Okay? Now, look at it like a boxing match. Okay? You see 2 fighters in the ring. One knocks the other out. Now, when he's defeated and knocked out, 10 count. As we know boxing, does the person who knocked him out, does he jump on top of him continuing to fight? Does he still try to knock him out after he's already been knocked out, defeated, and counted out? No, he's done. The boxer doesn't do that. What happens? His hands are raised in victory. That's the illustration, the earthly illustration of what Christ did for our lives. Okay, now, the second thing, okay, thinking back to victory, and everybody in the chat, please listen to this and take this with you. Victory is not a position that we fight for. It's a position that we fight from. You got to hear that. You're not trying to gain the victory. You're not trying to get it. Stop trying to fight the fight. It's already been done. It's not something that you have to obtain. It's already been handed to you. All you have to do is stand in the position of victory. It's a position that you fight from. It's like being behind a Greek wall and all the soldiers out there in the battalion, they all out there and they standing out there protecting you. You don't have to fight for victory. It's already yours. Stop fighting for it and know that it's already been done. I'm going to leave it at that until next time.
Thank you. Deshauna. So
they saved the best for last.
Yes, ma'am.
So what I want to hear your nuggets that you have to leave. And also I would like for you to talk just briefly about the academy and how we can access. Please, everybody, support. Are you in the chat? Is Deshauna Breeze? Where do you as? Because she's a passport to breathe
Passport to
on
breathe.
IG.
Yeah.
And she's a passport to breathe on Twitch. But please follow her IG, a passport to breathe. Please. She is offering different services, different, now she's doing a mental health academy. So please, please, please follow her. But what gems do you want to leave before we get out of here?
There was so much. I was writing like the whole time because there was just so much. You know, keep having those conversations. I like to say that I like to make the uncomfortable uncomfortable until they get comfortable. And it's just so important to, you know, because there's still people in my family, you know, that, oh, you know, because people will say, talk to us, but then say, no, not like that. We don't want to hear it like that. But you have to continue talking. You have to continue getting it off of you. Find your tribe. You know, that's what I'm putting out there with the academy and with my app that's coming. I'm creating that tribe where we won't say back to you, no, not like that. You will be authentic. You will be heard. You will be not judged. You will not be invalidated. And then with, you know, I'm trying to get to children. I know there's fine lines with that. But in the meantime, you know, when Prodigy was talking about his daughter, that brought me to a moment yesterday. I was shopping with my, well, she'll be 11 in a couple days, my niece. And I just broke up with my fiance. And she asked why. And I stopped in that moment and I was like, you know what? I could either be like, you know, how we grew up. Oh, that's none of your business. Or I could tell her the truth. And in that moment, I decided to tell her the truth. And I didn't get deep into it, but what I said was, you know, while he was a nice person on the outside, he didn't treat me nicely. And I love myself too much not to be treated nicely. So I had to leave.
Right.
And she understood that. You know, a lot of times we think kids don't understand, and they do. You know, they just want you to be honest with them. So have those conversations. My academy actually talks about that. I have classes in there that, you know, questions that you can ask your children for anxiety, for, you know, depression, getting them to talk more. You know, they're understanding depression because a lot of us don't understand it. You know, I'm 45 and my family, because now I'm talking about it, they're trying to understand it. So I have to have patience with them and they have to have patience with me. You know, I know they're not going to get it right away. You know, some things that I post, you know, I'll get called and be like, why did you post that? Because it's my truth. You know? And I'm not going to be ashamed and, you know, apologetic about my truth and about what I've been through. Where am I going? And that goes back to what Miss Riz was saying, you know, finding who you are. I've been in therapy since 2018 after my suicide attempt, and going through that time, I was once a week. Now I'm once every 2 weeks. So I have grown, but I know I still need it. You know, I know I still need my meds, and I'm not going to act like I don't. I think that's the other thing. We act like, oh, I don't need that. I
Right.
don't need the therapy, and I don't need to be on any medicines. And you're doing yourself an injustice when you reject things before you even really learn about them
Mm-hmm.
and be open to it. So those are just my little gems for the night. The academy is online, and that can be found if you follow me on IG. And then my app, which is really where I want to get everybody to, you can go to bit.ly, so bit.ly, A as an apple, P Paul, 2, the number 2, B breathe, APP. So bit.ly, AP2B, APP. And that has a wait list. So I will email you on 1/1 and say it's open,
Mm-hmm.
and within the app, it'll have community rooms, chat rooms, and these are for these type of conversations. I'll have lives. I actually have classes in there. I'll have articles, blogs, like you name it, I'm putting it in there because I won't be silenced and I won't let anybody else be silenced.
Absolutely.
That's where I am.
Thank
And
you.
love all
We
my
will,
kids.
we will not be silenced. DJ OE, do you have any last words? If you could put up the raid message, either Miss Yvonne or Miss Sweet Tea. Any last words for you?
First and foremost, thank you, Beauty. I was reading your text from your mom. I love your mom. um, but first, I was going to say thank you for having this. Definitely, it's definitely needed on Twitch. A lot of people need to come, just come and listen. With the panel, Mad Live, I hear what you're saying. I love your energy. I love that. Believe it or not, I used to be a youth pastor.
Oh.
back in the days. So what you said is 100% accurate, and I agree with you. Dev, I'm sorry I missed your stream, but I like your hat. I missed your stream, but I'll be
I'm
there
a
next
Ravens fan.
Monday.
Let me set that straight first, OE. I'm a Ravens fan. I just wore a hat for the color.
Oh, but then you're not my
You took
friend
it
right now,
back.
so I won't be at your stream next Monday. Uh, Deshauna, and I just want to say thank you to all the panels for having me. My only thing at the end of the day is just don't be afraid, don't be stifled, don't be muzzled by that old saying that what stays in this house, whatever goes on in this house stays in this house. Don't be afraid to reach out to people. For those, whether you believe or you're a non-believer, there's always somebody that you could reach out to. And not everybody's ear is a listening ear.
Ooh.
I'm going to say that again.
You say it again.
Not
Say it
everybody's
again.
ear is a listening ear. So be careful who you choose. Be careful who you surround yourself with. I'm fortunately that it's sad that, and it's not sad, but I am closer with a lot of people on Twitch than I am with my own family, where they are the support that I have. Outside of my daughters,
Right.
just like Mad Live, I lost my parents in 2000 and 2001 and 2009. So whatever strong support I had then, all I have is right now really is my Twitch fam. Besides my daughter, and I appreciate that, but I have witnessed and learned that not everybody is in it for. Some people just want to hear for the gossip.
Exactly.
They just want to hear how your life is, because whether it's some weird reason that they want to hear it because it makes their life seems better,
Yes.
and just like everybody else, I share my story. I used to be muzzled like I said, stifled because I listened to what my dad told me and my mom told me. Stay here.
Mhm.
But like I said, Prodigy stream 2 years ago woke me up. Now you can't shut me up.
Absolutely.
You
I'm
know, so
happy.
that's for me is just like I said, check on your family, check on your friends, the happy friends, the kids. Um, just show love, and like I always say on my stream, go with love. Be nice to somebody that you don't even know, whether you're in the streets or whatever. A simple head nod, a simple hi, you don't know what that person is going through,
Right.
and they might be searching for something for a reason. So by you just going there and saying hi, whether it's a stranger or whatever, you be surprised that that little hi might turn their outlook on life. They might be on that brink. About 6 years ago, everybody knows who knows me. I do a lot of charity work, a lot of for the homeless, and I'm an advocate for the homeless and stuff like that. And I was shopping for the homeless ministry out here in DC that I do. I volunteered for, and there was something in my spirit just told me to say hi to this 80-year-old white man. He was just walking in the supermarket, and something just told me to say hi. And he looked at me and said thank you, and then we started to pray right then and there. I didn't ask him what he was going through. We just started praying, and by the time I finished praying and opened up my eyes, there was 10 people around us praying too.
Mm.
And his exact words was, I needed this in my life because I had nothing else to live for.
Oh.
That's why I always say, there's the reason why I say go with love, and always say that same thing every day is because that changed the outlook on my life.
Yes.
So that's why I say go with love after every stream I do. And I just thank everybody for listening to my story. Thank you for all the advice on there. In the chat, your guys is what gets me through. Because when I come on Twitch, that joking like Mad Life, it's me. It's not a facade. But sometimes when I go through it, I rely on, and like you said, Mad Life, sometimes I forget who I should go to first. But my safe place is Twitch.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yes. Yes.
It's Twitch. So when I go on there, people always says DJ saved their lives. I always says my community saved mine. And it's not because I was leaning towards taking it. It's just that when I need something to pick me up, that's what I go through. So I thank you for having me. I thank the panel, and I thank you for the viewers, and I love you all.
All right, DJ Tank, hello, come on in. I see my brother, my actual blood brother, walked into the room, the world's greatest lover. Lord, I hate saying that word and attaching it to my brother because I don't want to know that. But that's my actual brother. I wish he'd change his name just for me. But I hope this has been, I know we've been on for 3 hours. These type of panels, I don't put a time limit to because you just know what needs to be done and said, in these particular moments. So I really hope that we were able to strengthen and help and save even one life, even one life. It would be great to save more, but just that one. And again, we so appreciate you. I would like everybody to just throw hearts in the chat just for yourself, for everyone on the panel. I'm so grateful. My team is grateful. My mod team is the best. My whole team is the best, but my mod team, I've watched them being here from beginning to end. Miss Siobhan, Miss Sweet T, thank you for continuously rocking out. Lex Diamonds, Krish, Joy Lex, DJ OE, DJ Sincere, Jen Fire, Light Eyes. I don't want to forget nobody. Am I forgetting anybody? And just everybody that just rocks with Team Dopeness. As you all know, we have started the We Are One raid trains, and this is what it's all about, bringing the community together. And just, it's a movement. Everything that we do is a movement when it comes out of a safe place. So I just want to thank everybody for staying with us tonight. Hey, Too Goody, hello, hello, hello. Um, and DJ Entertainment Trents for inviting a safe place onto the Top Notch Raid Train. He will not be hosting another raid train until January 24th. So he wanted me to make sure I let everyone know that. But, you know, just the honor of being really the only streamer on a DJ raid train, it is dope. You know I bring different content than music, but a lot of times we need to hear what's going on before we get back to the music, you know. So I just want to thank everyone for rocking out for these 3 hours. We're going to rock over to Miss Riz, Madam Riz, so we can get some vibes. So if you would copy the raid message, and whoever, maybe Miss Sweet Tea or Miss Siobhan, could take us out, I would greatly appreciate it. DJ Tank, I totally understand. I totally understand. You know, life has it. It does what it does. And, you know, that's why we're here, to just give that extra encouragement, that empowerment, the coaching, the teaching, the counseling. And like I said, it's not about money. It's about saving lives. It's about saving lives, because you win when you wake up another day. And I know some people feel like, no, you don't, but just give it a try. So thank you all for being here and taking the time. And just make sure you check on your friends. I appreciate you all. Have a good evening. Let's go over and get some vibes from Miss Riz and just have a good time. All right? See you later.